All right. It's currently 12:30. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Emerging Leaders Alliance Conference 2025, proudly organized by the SP Warrior Section Young Professionals. This year, we gather under the theme Empowering Tomorrow, Building a Legacy of Transformational Leaders, which speaks to the importance of developing young professionals who will shape the future with impactful leadership and innovation. I am Sylvia Tega Obo, and I will be moderating today's event alongside my co-moderator, Paul Alabi. Paul, it is great to be doing this with you. Please say hello to our audience.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. It's Paul Alabi here, and it's nice moderating this session. And I'm definitely sure we're going to have a wonderful time together. Thank you, Sylvia.
Thank you, Paul. So we have an exciting lineup of sessions. We have keynote speakers and panel discussions. So get ready to gain valuable insights from industry experts. So to officially begin, let us start with an important segment, our safety moment. Safety is at the core of everything we do. And to take us through this, please welcome Kere Obanawe, an oil field production chemist at Dario Ventures Limited. Kere, over to you.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. If you are as excited as I am about this, it's very critical to pay attention to the following safety brief. Please, to the next slide. Can you hear me? Please, next slide.
Yes, Kerry, you can hear you loud and clear. The slide is the screen. Kerry, please confirm you can hear me.
So while this program is ongoing, it is very important to pay critical attention to some of the safety measures below. If you are not talking, please ensure you mute your mic, okay? And if you have anything to say, any contribution, any comment, any observation, just raise up your hands. Somebody will attend to you and we take note of your comment. Then, if you are wearing any hearing devices, ensure you can stay relate with what's happening in your environment. You can still observe, you can still hear what's happening in your environment, okay, with your hearing devices on. And please ensure a very good sitting position while you are listening to the program, okay? We pay critical attention to our well-being when it comes to the oil and gas. Okay, stay still.
Okay, so I think Kara lost network. We cannot hear you. Please, everyone, please confirm you can hear me. Sylvia, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
All right, so I'll just continue from where she stopped. We have to be aware of our environment. Situational awareness is very key. You have to ensure that wherever you are, you're aware of whatever hazard or whatever safety precautions you have to take to ensure you don't enter into any form of casualty and all. Then always stay safe and please maintain a good sitting posture. This journey is going to be for about 3 hours and I'm sure it's going to be delightful. You will not even know when the time goes, but just ensure you are maintaining a very good sitting posture. Thank you very much, everyone. So moving forward, we'll go into the opening remarks. So moving forward, we're going to opening remarks by our Amiable Section Chair, Mr. Tamunotonye Biambo, the second Section Chair of SP Warri, Section 104. Please confirm you're on call.
Okay, I'll be taking it on behalf of Section Chair. Confirm you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Section chair is in a council engagement at the moment. So yeah, he has directed me to take it in to stand in for him. If time permits, when he join the call, he might learn one or two words to this. First of all, let me ably recognize our SP African Regional Manager, Mr. Ola Davis. He's on the call presently. He has really been supportive to the SP Nigerian Council, especially even our section, student activities, YP activities, and all that. This is one of the programs, that stem from the SP International, which is the Emerging Leader Conference. And this will be the first that we'll be doing as a YP team, right? And this is really very critical because young professionals play a major role in the leadership of tomorrow. If we are not building good leaders now, it means that tomorrow will be impacted. And that's why we sought it best to gather very distinguished leaders in their various professions to come to talk to us, give insightful decisions and discussions in this engagement that we have today. You all know we have the keynote speaker as the 2026 SP International President. I think I would dare to say that will be the first YP section to invite the 2026 SP International President to give a talk, in Nigeria. And also, we're even also the first to do that last year for the 2025 president. So we're setting a precedence where we're actually having, world SP leaders come to our platform, to talk to us and also empower us in terms of leadership. I would really want to say everybody on the call, especially student leaders, the SP Warri Section 2 has graciously, giving support to some student leaders to be on this call today so that they can learn a lot and also implement some of these strategies and insights that will be sharing in this section to also apply in their school. For every young professional on this call, you are going to be a leader in making. Everybody aspires to growth, right? And in terms of whatever you are placed, you might be leading maybe a group of people. It can be 1, it can be 100. Whatever capacity you are in, there are some key things that can make you to strive and be better in leadership. So I want to enjoin everyone to take notes from this program. We're going to be having the keynote address. We'll be having panel session, even engagements. Please take advantage of this, and also for quizzes that we'll have to take advantage of it and be our winners. For this maiden edition of the Emerging Leaders Conference. Thank you to all the teams. This is not our closing remark, but I will say well done to all the team. They have been putting a lot of work, 3 months. Even our amazing SP African Regional Director will be here. And when he speaks, he commands a lot of insightful quotes. I look forward to, at the end of the session, that participants will come in and say they had an amazing time. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Please confirm you can still hear me.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. So moving on, we'll be introducing some of our dignitaries on call. We'll introduce some of our dignitaries on call before we move into one of the most important parts of today's section, because the idea is to make sure for every bit of time you have, you're gaining value for it. So briefly, I'll be recognizing the presence of some of our speakers and panel session speakers also. So first of all, I would like to invite the presence of Sarunmer Daniels. He's going to be one of our keynote lecturers. He's our keynote lecturer for today. Please, Sarunmer, are you on call? Can you just say hello to us if you're on call? Okay, probably he's not yet on call. But while we wait for him, we also have some of our panel hosts, some of our panel speakers, which include Mr. Temitope Oshutui. Is he on call yet?
Okay, so for most of our panelists, we gave them the projected time, and because of their calendar, they will join in around then. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Probably we'll just move on from here. But also, I also like to recognize the presence of Sola Davis. I know section YP chair has also welcomed him and advised his presence, but I would just like him to say hello to us.
Yeah. Yeah, good morning, everyone. I'm glad to be here. I'm looking forward to all the sessions and everything. Great idea once again. Well done.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So before we move forward, before we go into the into the lecture proper, I would like us to just quickly get to know ourselves. So who are those here? So just utilize the chat box. Everyone here, just tell us where you're joining from and the chapter you're representing. So let's do that briefly. Where are you joining from and what chapter are you representing? I'd like to see the chat box. Yes, okay. From Warri, all right. Welcome, Callistus. Just let us know where are you joining from. Are you joining from Lagos and what chapter are you representing? Okay. All right, let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. All right, Sylvia from Lagos, joined from SP Warri section. Thank you, Sylvia. Welcome. My able co-moderator. Okay, Precious from Ole and representing Delsu Ole. Welcome. So we have some of our students on call also. Raymond from PTI chapter. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Back from Uyo, joining from SP Port Harcourt section. You're welcome. Okay, Joshua from Delta State. Okay, joining from representing the NMU chapter. Okay, Isaac from SP Warri section, representing SP Novean US. Thank you very much. Keep it coming, keep it coming, keep it coming. All right. Also, I would like us to just briefly, just what's your expectation in one word? In one word, what's your expectation for this program? What do you expect? I know you must have seen the flyer, you must have seen the dignitaries that will be speaking and I'll be passing on knowledge, but what's your expectation? Someone said value. Of course, you're going to get value. Knowledge, yes. Knowledge, let me say it now. With knowledge, we choke. A lot of knowledge, yes. Okay. Okay, Gloria joining from Port Harcourt, Reina joining from Warri. All right, let's keep it coming. What's your expectation for the program? What's your expectation? Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. I've seen value, I've seen knowledge. What else? What else? Are we having difficulty utilizing the chat box? Because I'm not seeing any other comments coming in. So please, okay, Juliana joining from Port Harcourt. Okay, thank you. Juliana, what's your expectation for the program? All right, all right, all right. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Keep it coming. Okay, okay. I think we have that. Okay, Olajide joining from SP and joining from NMU chapter. You are all welcome. Please, okay, Salah Davis, thank you very much. Joining from London, networking, the kids switching to network. All right. Also, please, before we go further, please let's just endeavor to, I know the ground rules have been set. Let's ensure that we mute our mics when we're not speaking so that we won't cause any form of disruption. And in case you have any question at all, please just utilize the chat box. We'll try and monitor it to ensure that we don't miss out on anything, and do your best to stay true to the end. And I'm sure whatever it is your expectation is gonna be met. So please, let's confirm, is Mr. Rume Daniels on call yet? Probably he's joining with another name and I'm not seeing. Let's just be sure. Please, can someone help confirm, is Rume Daniels on call yet? Okay, if it's not, if it's not yet on call, so Blessing Ben, are you on call? Ben Blessing, are you on call? Okay, thank you very much, Lucky. I've seen that. All right, so while we wait for Mr. Rume Daniels, we'll just move on because we're supposed to take the keynote lecture. So while we wait for him, we'll just move on to
Okay, let me come.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes. Let me come in.
Oh, okay, you're calling. So while we wait for that, I think we'll just move on to our first icebreaker session. Move on to our first icebreaker session so that we won't waste time. We want to ensure that we don't keep anyone waiting over here. So please just let me know, please. I need to be notified immediately it comes up. Thank you very much, everyone. So, Blessing Ben, are you on call? Ben Blessing, are you on call to take the icebreaker session? Okay, if he's not, I will take it in his stead. Please confirm you all can still hear me.
Loud and clear.
Oh, perfect. So Sylvia, please, you help me to read out whatever comments will be coming in from the from the chat box while I display the questions for the icebreaker. Confirm
Okay.
you're with me. All right, thank you very
Yes.
much. All right, so the icebreaker, so the idea of the icebreaker session is just losing up the tension a bit. I know, yes, we want value, we want knowledge, but let's still have fun a bit. Yes, of course, the value will still be fun though. Don't get me wrong. All right, so let's move on. So just answer a few questions. All right. Okay, so the first question here is what appears in 1 minute in minutes, twice in a moment, but never in 1,000 years? So this is a question. Confirm you can see my screen. What appears once in a
Yes.
minute, twice in a moment, but never in 1,000 years? So these are brain teasers just to juggle up our brain to prepare it for the knowledge we hope to receive. So what do we have in the comment section? I expect
Please,
that.
guys, keep the comments coming.
Okay, leave a comment. What do you think it is? What
Okay.
appears once in a minute? Okay.
Someone says letter M.
Okay.
Lucky said letter M.
Okay.
Queen letter M. Juliana
Alright.
M.
Okay, filled with M's. Okay, so what does the slide deck say? Slide deck says letter M. Well done. Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for participating. That's the first. Moving on. The more I listen, the less I speak. The more I'm heard, the more I listen, the more I am trusted. The less I speak, the more I am heard. What am I? The more I listen, the more I am trusted. The less I speak, the more I am heard. What am I? So let's keep it coming.
Okay, someone said Lucky said a leader.
Okay, Lucky.
Yes. Keep the comment going.
Keep it coming. Lucky, are you sure? Is that your final answer? Leader, okay. What are responses are we having? Leader.
None at the moment, but I think they're
None.
typing in the answer. Juliana says a good listener.
Okay, good listener.
Stanley says listener.
Okay. All right. So what is wisdom? Okay. All right. So what is the slide deck saying? Slide deck says a leader. Okay, thank you very
A
much. So
leader. So
yes, so
Lucky
at the
had
end
it.
of the day, yes, thank you. And at the end of the day, when you look at it, a good leader should be a good listener, and a good leader should also have wisdom. So even in as much as slide deck has said it's a leader, I want to believe Juliana and others are correct. Thank you. But thank you very much, Lucky, for participating. Okay, next we have I can be shared without being lost, but I am useless if kept to myself. What am I? I can be shared without being lost, but I am useless if kept to myself. What am I? Let's keep it coming. What's the first thing that comes to mind? So let's try not to get the
Knowledge.
perfect answer. Let's just what's the first thing that comes to your mind, just drop it there. Makes it more
Okay,
fun.
Galadima said knowledge. Juliana said knowledge also. Stanley, same answer, knowledge. Israel, same.
Okay.
Emmanuel, Queen, all
Oh,
have the same answers. Joshua said
okay.
information.
All right. So slide X says knowledge. Thank you. Yes, I can be
Knowledge.
shared without being lost, but I am useless if kept to myself. So just like we say in our popular way, don't keep updates. If there's updates, please share it. So if there's any knowledge anywhere, please do well to share, because the more we share knowledge, the more we gain mastery of that information. Thank you. So next we have I am stronger when we are together, but I break when we walk alone. What am I? I am stronger when we are together, but I break when we walk alone. So what is it? What am I? No, it's kind of
Okay, so
okay.
Jennifer said broom. Stanley said broom also. Israel, same response. Olajide, Dibia. Dibia said team. Lucky
Okay.
said team.
Okay.
Ogenekaro said broom.
Okay.
Like
Okay. I am
broom.
stronger when we are together, but I break when we walk alone. So we have two valid answers, team and broom. So
Broom.
what is survey? Oh, sorry, I said survey. Too much of family field, I guess. So slide
Yes.
X says slide X says teamwork. Okay. So when we look at it, it's true. The essence of teamwork is collaboration, coming together. But if you're trying to work alone and doing it yourself, you're breaking the team. So, but I still buy the idea of broom. Yes, you cannot just sweep with one stick of broom. Yeah, it has to be together. All right. But for the purpose of this, survey says, sorry, slide X says teamwork. All right. And lastly, what do we have? I am not about being the loudest, but making the biggest impact. What am I? I am not about being the loudest, but about making the biggest impact. What am I? Okay. An achiever. Okay. Achiever.
That's a good one.
Okay.
But I believe there should be more response.
Yes, yes. So
Okay,
impact.
so Julian said an impact, yes.
Okay. What else? What else? What else? Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Like I said, just the first thing that comes to your mind, just drop it. The first thing that comes to your mind, drop it. Don't bother to
Influence.
look.
Julian said influence.
Don't try to get the most correct answer. Okay, I am not about being the loudest, but about making the biggest impact. What am I? Okay. Any other comments coming in? Okay.
Success. Okay, Kara.
Okay. 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 All right. So what's the answer? So we can move up. Slide deck says influence. All right. Yes, it's not about being the loudest, but making the biggest impact. So I think that's what influence is all about. You don't have to be the most popular. You know, your voice doesn't have to always be the one that fills the room, but what impact are you making? So at the end of the day, so I think the idea of brain teasers and or these brain teasers is just to juggle up our memory. So whatever answers we have here may be the most correct answer, but every other person's opinion is valid because as an achiever, one of the goals of an achiever is not just about being the loudest, but you want to ensure that you meet your goal and you make impact. Same with every other answers that you have. So thank you very much for participating, and we'll just move up from here. So I've been told that okay, before we proceed, we'll work out to recognize presence of our section chair is on call now. Engineer Mr. Tamnotu Ebiambo is on call now, sir. Can you say hello to us? I know your session had been taken by the YP chair, but we'll just say hello to us before we move forward.
Oh, thank you so much. I was in communication with AB. I was involved in another meeting. I had a class, so I'm even multitasking now. So really appreciate. AB has already taken my open remark, but just to say that as a section, we are fully aligned with this program. It's in fact part of our goal is to find programs and events that will help develop our young professionals and our students. So these programs fall in line with our goal as a section. So I just want all the participants, YP, even if we have students, to take the opportunity of this program, to take opportunity of the kind of resource persons we have here to make sure that they learn to build and develop themselves. Thanks very much. I'll still be here to listen through. Thanks.
All right, thank you very much, sir. We're always honored to have your support in the section, even as YPs. Thank you very much, sir. So without further ado, we'll go into the keynote lecture, but before we do that, would read his profile. So to do that, Sylvia, please do the honors. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Paul. Now it is my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Ume Daniels. Ume Daniels is a training consultant and conference speaker with 17 years of experience in human capital development. He is the executive director of the Center for Values in Leadership, Lagos, and has worked extensively in HR services across multiple industries, including banking, oil and gas, telecoms, and manufacturing. He is a faculty member of the Leadership School and serves in advisory capacities to several organizations. His passion for leadership and career transformation is truly inspiring. Please give a virtual round of applause as we welcome Ume Daniels. Ume Daniels, are you on the call?
Good afternoon, everybody. I don't know if you can hear me. Please confirm if you can.
We can hear you loud and clear, sir.
Thank you very, very much. It's an honor to be part of this meeting today. I am grateful for the invite. I thank you for the opportunity to share my thoughts on the subject before us today. The Emerging Leaders Conference is a strategic one as it relates to the SPE, and I'm going to share from my heart. I was saying to Mr. Peter just a while ago that I had some sort of elaborate presentation, but I realized that in 30 minutes that might be too long to deal with. So I'm going to share a number of things from my heart and hope that we can all join in the discourse as well so that we can learn from each other. I hope that's okay.
Yes, that's fine, sir. But will you still be sharing your screen
Thank
so I
you.
can stop sharing from here?
Well, just leave that there a little.
Okay.
So let me just pick up from here.
All right.
And okay, so I understand that the SPE, of course, a global body that has, been such a huge platform of development for young professionals over the years. And I have been privileged to be part of the SPE outside of Warri, among several sections and chapters as well. And so I understand the role the SPE plays in the development of young professionals within our space, our industry. And I am such a, I'd say that it comes to full 9 yards because as my background is in geology, I know that the SPE was home for me back in school as well. These days, I am hardly in the oil and gas space except through consulting and through the jobs that we do for clients within the space. However, to all my brothers and all my sisters, all of us here on this call today who are currently forging our journeys within this industry, I celebrate you. I thank you for the work that you do. For those of us who are still preparing ourselves for the industry, who are students within this space for any given course that is related to the industry that you're preparing for yourself, for the industry for, I say well done. And may God continue to strengthen you and prepare you for the task ahead of you. I want to congratulate our section leader and all the leaders here, all of us here who work very assiduously to make this organization keep at its mission. So well done and thank you. I'm aware that there's going to be our international chair who is for 2026, I believe. Congratulations to her, and I trust that she's going to have an amazing tenure as well. To all our national people as well, well done. So our team is such a unique one, right? And I know that for those of us here present, we know how people say we're the leaders of tomorrow. But we also agree we're the leaders of now. We can't wait for tomorrow. In fact, a friend of mine, many years ago, while we're still in school, we came up with a slogan, why we can't wait, okay? It sounded too audacious to say to ourselves and to say to leaders who are ahead of us, to tell them, we know you say we're the leaders of tomorrow, but we can't wait. Because if we wait, we will waste. Now that sounded very radical. It sounded hasty. It sounded as though we were just not going to go through due process. But that's not what we're saying. We're saying, on the contrary, that please give us the opportunity to serve. There's a lot to give, to share, to contribute to what it is that we're doing here on a national level, on a state level, and so on and so forth. I would like to be very practical and to ensure that this is not, in fact, this is one of the reasons why I'm not sharing my slides, because I didn't want to come in an academic format at all right? I love the teasers. I like the one about knowledge, the one that spoke about what you share and, if you keep it's not as useful, and that was knowledge. I like that. I also liked the teaser about influence. That teaser was such a strategic one as well. I loved it. It meant a lot, talking about the fact that you didn't have to be very sizable to make any meaningful contribution. So when I saw those two teasers, I smiled and I was excited about those two, because it spoke to a bit of the essence as to why we're sharing this. So in the next couple of minutes, I would love to just quickly say that leadership is influence, all right? And I believe that in the course of our discussion, we would have mentioned that. I know I didn't come in on time, but leadership is influence, all right? In fact, it is influence yesterday, it is influence today, it will be influence tomorrow. It is the ability to inspire people, a group of 2 or more people, all right, to achieve worthwhile goals, all right? So we say leadership is the ability to influence and inspire. Those 2 words come in handy in one of the most subtle yet most powerful definitions of leadership the world over. So we say leadership is the ability to influence and to inspire a group of people to achieve worthwhile goals, right? So when we look at the subject we have, empowering tomorrow, building a legacy of transformational leaders, that for me is a handful, but I'll pick just 2 words right there: transformational leaders. And a transformational leader must be one who understands transformational leadership, right? And so that's what we're talking about. Literally empowering tomorrow by what we're building today. So this is what this Emerging Leaders Alliance Conference is all about this year. Speaking to the subject of transformational leadership in such a way that we are propelling ourselves to think deeply about what sacrifices must be made today, what decisions and choices must be made today, what pain we must endure today for tomorrow's sake, for tomorrow's benefit. And that is really the importance of what we're sharing today. All right. So I've already defined what leadership is, and I know very well that might speak a lot to someone who is saying, but I don't have any office at the moment. If you're in your 20s, you're in your early 30s, and you're on this call, or you're part of this association, you know very well that at SP we speak to young leadership. One of the things we also would need to remind ourselves on this call right now is the fact that a true leader, especially a transformational one, does not need a title, an office, or a platform per se in an official sense to make impact, because we've talked about impact in our teasers, influence as we talked about. You don't need a title to influence your organization, your community, your world, your industry. Our industry is such that a lot is needed in the days ahead for innovative, for thinking differently. And it's such a huge time, all right, to be talking about this, because for what is what, a lot of the multinationals in our space is experiencing a transformation now to more indigenous leadership, especially for those who are doing work around the closer to shore end of things. The deep sea drillings where Shell has moved, focused more into is quite interesting. But right now we know Renaissance, for instance, has taken over Shell completely at this moment. Talk about Seplat taking over at ExxonMobil as well. What that means, the implication is that there is need for more young professionals to get ready to step into the space of influence and leadership like never before. 2025 is a strategic year, all right? As I speak to you, one of the conversations I had before this call started today happens to be with a dear friend who is in, an active role in the industry in SPDC. And I can say that he was just promoted yesterday with something that we say was long overdue. And while with him, I'm right now as I speak, I'm in Lagos. I had an event in VI this morning. And while I was in transit with him, a few of his younger colleagues and senior colleagues made phone calls to him. And they were on speaker, and I was listening to the conversations. And for what is what, they are excited about this young man, and I mean young because he's within the age range of the SP, target age, and he's doing quite a bit with his life. So excited. And we had a deep sense of conversation about what it means to literally step into a role of leadership at this time in the industry. So this is what I want to say very quickly. It might not be a lot. I don't have a lot of technical things to say to you, but I'm going to share with you one of the things that I believe has personally, positioned me for transformational leadership. And when it comes to transformational leadership, we're really talking about a person who is not just leading for today with today's ideas and thought patterns or perspective, but a leader in this case, a transformation leader in this sense is one who is leading for tomorrow. And honestly speaking, it is a serious thing to think for tomorrow because decisions today shape tomorrow. So a leader who can be strategic enough to think in the sense of the next 20, 30 years, decisions that shape literally a whole society. And this is quite interesting because how do you do that when you don't have the platform to do that? How do you become the transformation leader and allow your vision speak, allow your thoughts, your ideas influence, culture, shape strategic, long-term way of process that has always been in an organization? How do you even begin to do that when you have veterans who have been in the industry, heading your department, heading your industry, your organization? How do you do that? Especially if you're in an environment where unconsciously the environment says be seen but don't be heard. In other words, you can't be speaking up when you're, and I know a lot of us will say things are changing, but painfully, realistically, there are still quite a lot of people who still don't feel that a number of us young leaders have anything to contribute. They're not there yet. So how do you begin to shape an organization with the sheer force of your thoughts, of your difference, of your ideas, all right? Thoughts that consciously you can tell on this trajectory that we currently as a company, as an organization, as an industry, there is no future here. There are things that need to be done differently, but we need to make those decisions now. How do you influence those decisions? How do you introduce? What do you begin to do as a young thought leader who doesn't have the platform, the position, the office, or the title to do that? What do you do? That was the thinking I had while coming on this call today. I said, let's make it formal. Let's make it informal. Let's not go on those slides I had prepared elaborately. But I'm sure some of us are thinking of the answers right now. I'm sure some of us are. It would be nice if you could just please chat me up. I'm looking at the chat right now. If you have any thoughts on what do I do too, and this is the question, right? I don't have the title. I don't have the office. I'm not the head of the department. I'm not the MD CEO. I don't even sit in meetings where those decisions are made. But what do I do to begin to deliberately and strategically influence my organization, my industry, with the sheer width of my vision, my values, my thoughts? If you have answers to this, please kindly put in the chat room. Anything you put there will be valid. Please just answer. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I didn't see all of this. Thank you. So are there any thoughts? Any thoughts you'd love to share? Please kindly put in the chat room. Very important. While I'm waiting, I'm waiting to see one or two different thoughts. I'll be glad if I can get those responses. Please kindly confirm. Good. First start with your circle and make good. Thank you for this, Ume. You can start with your inner circle. Okay, beautiful. Same thoughts. Beautiful. Good. You don't have to be way up at the top to influence and lead. Beautiful. Thank you. I think that's just perfect. So we're on the same wavelength. Thank you. Oh, beautiful. I'm going to take this last one. Let me take you up on that. All right. So, speaking of whenever, and that's a very beautiful one. But how do you speak in such a way that you don't get people thinking, oh, you have to always say that, and don't get it twisted. I've been around the space long enough to know there are people who don't like us speaking up. In fact, there's some of us who are our peers who will tell us straight away, all right, you're doing too much. Is it your father's company? Why do you want to kill yourself? And then there's some of us who are afraid of just being, shut down. And I'm speaking about the young man who was promoted just yesterday, the 14th of March. All right. He is one of those people whose promotion was stepped on because, and delayed rather, because he had been speaking out. He would raise his hand to air his opinions and to say the things that needed to be changed. Some of his superiors didn't like it. So there are people who would rather want to play it safe and say, look, let me keep my ideas to myself so I don't step on anybody's toes. So the question is, if you're going to speak up, how do you want to do it without, all right? So we're here. This is not a long conversation. And maybe one or two of the things I'm going to say you may have heard, or it will be very helpful if you hear it again. So speaking of what you say, and I hear you absolutely that you don't need it, an official title to make any difference. I saw that someone else said, or rather two people talked about starting with your inner circle, starting from where you are. I believe that's what you meant. Don't wait until you get to the next level. Someone says that when I get the opportunity, I'll change things. And someone said, no, I don't need to wait for the opportunity to change things. I need to change things right now from where I am. And so how do I do that is the question, right? Yeah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. But in any case, let's move quickly. So amazing. Sorry if you're not a religious person here, no problem. I'm currently seeing a movie from the good book, the young man David, right? So I'm seeing a movie on it's titled David, right? And I think that's how it is in a corporate space when you are a young professional, in this sense, David, taking on a corporate culture that is faulty but needs to change, yet the system is saying, no, 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 no. That's a Goliath right there, trying to restrict a David in this sense. Yet, David is restless. He goes home every day thinking, I have more to give. I have more to call. The future needs me. I need to speak up. I need to add value. I need to do something. The question is how, when. So one of the characteristics of great leaders is that they have a great sense of timing. They have a great sense of timing, right? Another characteristic of leadership that I love is the fact that leaders have vision, and that this vision, right, they feel very responsible for that vision, even when they're not the champions of the organization. In other words, even when they're not at the helm of positional leadership, right? And so one of the things I've had to learn, I'm going to recommend a book because I'm sure that I can't, and I actually put this on my slide, initial slide. It's called The 360-Degree Leader. Now, if you've never seen that book before, I dare you, SPE, all right, to go pick up that book and read and thank me later. The 360-Degree Leader by Dr. John C. Maxwell. Please, I beg you. Yes, that's it, by John Maxwell. Thank you. If you've never read it, right? So the kind of leadership a lot of people are aware of or are used to is leading top down when you speak to your subordinates. But the 360-degree leader gives us a pretty good clarity of how to influence, how to exert our influence with colleagues, right? So that's parallel leadership on the same level. And then, of course, you're leading yourself. That's where it starts, leading your subordinate, leading your colleagues, all right? The kind of wisdom it takes or the kind of capacity it takes to lead subordinates is different from the influence it takes to, lead pairs, all right? It's different. And in fact, it is different when it comes to leading your boss or leading upward or leading organization-wide. So without wanting to spend so much time doing all of that discussion here and now for the sake of time, I'm giving you this reference. I see that one person already understands that material. Now, if you've read it before, maybe this would be a good time in 2025 to read it, seeing that we're positioning ourselves and seeing that we're not just leaders of tomorrow, we're leaders of now. So what can I begin to do to position myself as a person of value? Thank you, powerful book, yeah. What can I begin to do now to position myself as a person of value? All right, as a person of influence, as a go-to person of choice when it comes to certain issues in the organization. What can I begin to do? Before I, begin to wrap up, let me just mention, when it comes to speaking up, because somebody mentioned that earlier, I didn't get your name, sorry about that, but you said speaking up when necessary about things, all right? And that's more or less trying to influence things, right? And speaking up sometimes doesn't necessarily mean talking, all right? It also means writing. About 2 years ago at our Media Work Summit in Alausa in Lagos, I was having a session and somebody raised his hand, a very young professional. And he said, what if you work in an organization where the boss tells you, don't say anything, just do what we ask you to do. We didn't call you to come and think for us. And this guy is a restless person. He has so many thoughts and ideas. So He says that was what his boss used to do. Now we're hearing a question from him. Wisdom told me that, look, his boss is not here to defend himself. So we're just going to assume that this guy is right. However, because I'm an employer of labor, I've been on this side where you are. I've also been on this side where I pay the bills. I pay the salaries. So let me put myself in the shoes of that guy and speak to you answering that question. And the question was, how do you speak? What do you do when you want to suggest? He said the first time he made the suggestion, he did it in a general meeting and he got a hush-hush. Said the second time he did it, he left his post, went to the manager's office this time and said, sir, I have an idea. Oga said, speak. And when the man finished listening, he said, okay, I've heard you. You can go back to your station. But we've not called you to come and do this. All right? And then he talked about a third time. But I listened to the first two and I realized that this was the situation. I said, it is not what you are saying that is the issue. It is how and when you are saying it. He looked at me and said, sir, what do you mean? I said, see, it's one thing to have good ideas. It's another thing to know how to sell them. In fact, that how is more important than the what. When is even a strategic input as well. But if you can know how and know when, that's more than 50%. The what is literally, I'll say it's about 10, 15%, or maybe 20%. But the how, in other words, the presentation, the format, I'll dare say the finesse, the comportment, the diplomacy, the tact, the skill of presentation is critical for the influence you're trying to, I hope this makes a lot of sense to someone. It's not what you say. Alabi, I can see your hand. I don't know if that's a question. Can I?
All right, sorry, I don't mean to disrupt the session. Just wanted to call your attention to the time so that we'll see
Beautiful. So
time to
how many minutes do I have left? Am I stopping now?
By ideally, you should stop now so we can take Q&A between now and 1:30. So I don't know if you just try to wrap up. Thank you,
beautiful.
sir.
So let me just wrap this up in a few minutes. Thank you for that, Alabi.
Thank you very much.
So I think the final thought I'd love to leave behind today for every transformational leader, all right? We know that what we have on our inside at this generation is different. We know that it's key for organizations and nations to listen to the young. Our population is the largest, in this country. So it is in religious, political, we're the youngest, we're the largest, young, vibrant. So it is in the interest of every organization, all right, to listen to us right about now. It is in the interest of every well-meaning organization to listen to us now, not tomorrow. So the thing I'm going to ask for you to do is to learn how to present. Like I said, it's not about speaking, it's about communicating. And sometimes you need to put it in writing. So the story of that young man ended this way. I said, go back to your organization because don't be discouraged. He wanted to resign. I said, don't be discouraged. Go back, put your thoughts in writing, put it in a one-page document. Sell the benefits of what it is you want first, and then tell them how we're going to do it. In other words, no true, well-meaning positional leader does not want the organization to do better. And if there are people like that that don't want the organization to do better, then fine. Maybe you should look for other people to speak to or put it into writing. Let it be in an email document that organizations can. The rest is history. All right. Once the organization took that idea, he didn't even know they had heard him. The only time he knew they had heard him is when he saw them implementing the idea. And to be fair to the organization, they came out in the open in a staff meeting and acknowledged that this idea came from one of the staff. They asked him to stand up and they celebrated him in the open. So later I heard the story, and that's further proof the fact that it is not what you're saying that matters, it is how you say it. If you're going to transform nations, cities, organizations, your departments, where you are right now, please learn how to communicate. All right. I'm going to leave another recommended book, right? It's called the 5 levels of leadership. The 5 levels of leadership. The first level is the level of position, leadership by position. The second is the position called leadership by permission. And the third is called the leadership by production or productivity or results. And the fourth is called leadership by people development. The fifth and the last is called personhood, or where the leader is an institution. But I want to draw your attention to position number 1, leadership by position. That is the position of a leader where the leader's influence is tied to their title, their office. And that is the lowest level of influence. That's what a lot of people think they need to influence, and add value or make a difference. The second level, where we say leadership by permission, people follow you because you care about them, right? You can read more a little bit about that, but I want to draw your attention to number 3. It's called leadership by production or leadership by productivity. That is the level I want to draw the attention of this house to, everyone listening on this call or who will listen to this tomorrow or whenever. When you generate results for your organization, your results will speak for you. In fact, your results will bring you into boardrooms that you have no business being in. I'm a living proof of that. I don't have time to share too many testimonies. I was just reading the story of Charles, who began to shape the entire Google at the age of 27. And by 27, he was literally one of the top-notch guys inside of Google. And he did this without a single official title. Yes. And the list is endless. I'm going to stop here, and I really want to thank you for the opportunity to share. I hope that in this era of AI, in this fourth industrial revolution, where those of us who are young professionals are literally gearing up for transformational leadership for tomorrow, we will do the needful today, empower ourselves today, and get ready for influence tomorrow, right? Thank you for this opportunity to share. So I'm here for questions. God bless you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Roman Daniels, for that insightful presentation. You have given us a lot to think about regarding leadership and personal growth. So now we'll move into the Q&A session. So if you have any question, please type it into the chat box and I'll read them out. Or if you would like to ask a question directly, please use the raise hand feature and I'll call on you.
All right, if you don't mind, I see a question about the books.
Yeah. Yes.
Let me just reiterate that. Number 1 is the 360-degree leader. Write it in numbers, 360-degree leader. The second, yeah, that's it. Thank you, by John Maxwell. And then the second one is the 5 levels of leadership. It's also by John Maxwell. And if I add a third one, the third one is the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. These are the books that has helped me and more. But if you're interested in leadership, as you should really, as we all should, then these are go-to materials. So the second was the 5 levels of leadership, and the last was the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. I hope my friend got that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Rome. Any more questions? Do we have any more questions?
Okay, while we're waiting for questions, I would just like to, first of all, say thank you to Pastor Roman Daniels. It was quite insightful lecture. And just for the sake of everyone, because I know the time was short and we're really, really enjoying the session, just that we had to drop at some point. How can we reach out to you, sir? I'm sure some people may want to probably ask you some questions personally and try to follow up some things. So how can we get access to you?
Yeah, thank you for that. Really, I think that the shorter it is, the better. Sometimes those long ones can be a bore, though I'm more given to the long things. I think Mr. P.T. understands that. I realized that I could go on for 6-7 hours for retreats and not get tired. But these short ones are good. So to So pick up from here later. Anyone, please. I'm on every single social media handle as Rume Daniels. LinkedIn is a good place to connect. Yeah, I'm sure most of us are here. I saw many of us on LinkedIn already. So Rume Daniels everywhere. Daniels with an S, right? R-U-M-E. But I'm also going to leave an official contact. But please, let me say this ahead of time. It's WhatsApp. If you leave a voice note, a chat, I will always respond. It might not be immediately, but I'll respond same day. But please, it's very easy to catch. 090, right? 721 77 77 45. Somebody might want to just help me type it down in there. So it's 090 721 77 77 45, right? That's what's up, beautiful to communicate. But I want to please, I don't hear questions. I wish you we could ask questions, but let me say this very quickly. One of the key to successful mentoring of any sort, even if you're going to go on ChatGPT, for you to get the best out of an AI mentor, that's what I call them these days, right? You need to ask the right questions. The same thing with a human mentor. The key to drawing the best out of anybody, any human being, is to ask the right questions. When you're going to place a demand in that sense with a good question, you would have squeezed the wisdom out of the person just like that. So I hope that helps. Always ask questions. Be ready to get the most out of any opportunity that you have. I just want to leave this just in case nobody asks about this. I was hoping I could talk about this, and this is the fact that one of the easiest way to position yourself as a transformational leader is to not mind what people say. So deal with the issue of the motive. Ensure that you're not trying to outshine your boss. One of the laws, the 48 laws of power, is never outshine the master. All right. So never try to outshine your boss. Be as humble as possible, right? Professionally, Steve Jobs responded to the Harvard graduating students when he went to give his speech at Harvard many years ago. So one of the students asked him how to remain sustainably successful, not just a hit and run success. And Steve Jobs' response, in that iconic response, we choose two major statements or a set of 4 words that we use today. Number 1, he said, stay hungry. And number 2, he said, stay foolish. I'll repeat that again. He said, stay hungry. In other words, never get satisfied. And then he said, stay foolish. Act as though you don't know anything. One of the easiest ways to mop from everybody. No matter how smart you are, you can still mop from somebody who looks like a fool before you by staying foolish. So in other words, stay hungry means you should continue to learn. That's one of the keys right there. That's one of the keys right there. I think the last thing I'm going to say is if you are already sorting out the issue of motive, you're not trying to outshine your boss, you're not trying to outshine your colleagues, you're not trying to step on everybody to grow in your journey, then once that issue of motive is settled, it means you must block out the noise that is coming. And the noise I mean is the fact that people are going to try to talk you down when you try to initiate things or when you try to take steps. There will be always people who, without even saying anything, their body language will say, what's this problem? What's her problem? Why is she trying to do all of that? Who is she trying to impress? Again, please note my words. Once you have sorted the motive, that the motive is not to destroy anybody, all right? And there's nothing wrong with you wanting to grow in your career. Office politics is not a bad thing. Office diplomacy and tact is not a bad thing. You just must learn to use it properly. It means that once you've sorted all of that, you must shut your ears to every foolish thing or every discouragement that comes. It means that the final thing you must continue to do is to volunteer yourself, even when nobody wants to do it. Volunteer yourself, make yourself available to serve your bosses, serve your organization. It's time for an end of the year party. You don't do anything about the party, show up on the committee, right? It's time for someone to research a paper. Your boss needs help. Volunteer. Just keep doing that. This last thing I'm saying to you has helped me tremendously in my career. Up until yesterday, I got a new contract. I just signed a new contract. I can't go into details, but it's already out there. And it came by just saving, just by saving. I'll leave that here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Roommate Daniels. I can see that we have a lot of questions, but time will not be able to permit us to take them. Mr. Roommate Daniels, if you don't mind, could you kindly reply to them in the chat box?
That's fine. Thank you very much.
So, yes. So before we move on, I would like to take a moment to recognize Mr. Tunde Adepoju, CEO of Eminent Builders Mats. Thank you for being here with us today, sir. So now let us move on to our next section, which is the keynote address. Paul, over to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Sylvia. Please confirm you can hear me now. I was actually talking before.
Yes, loud and clear.
All right. So if you're going to take anything out of the lecture, stay hungry, stay foolish. I think we need to get an hashtag from that. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Thank you very much. So we're moving on to our keynote address, and it's going to be by a very special person. That's the Jennifer Ms. Kimmins, who is the 2026 SPE International President, and it's quite an honor to have her in our midst today. So she's already on call. So briefly, without further ado, I'll just quickly go through her profile so she can have the floor. So Dr. Jennifer Ms. Kimmins is 2026 SPE International President and currently serves as Department Head of Petroleum Engineering at Colorado School of Mines. She has 35 years of experience in the oil and gas industry, holding both leadership and academic positions, such as SPE Completions Technical Director and even the AIME President. And very notably, she has also received a number of awards, some of which are SPE International Completions Optimization Technology Award and even the SPE International Distinguished Achievement Award for Petroleum Engineering Faculty. With this, I'm sure you know you are in for a ride on impact and knowledge. You have the floor, Dr. Jennifer.
All right. Thanks, Paul. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, loud and clear.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
All right. I'll stop sharing from here.
Okay. Good. All right. There we go. All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's an honor to be able to speak with you today. It's a little bit early in the morning for me here. I am in Colorado, well, technically Golden, Colorado, but it's right outside Denver for any of you that are familiar with that part of the world. I was listening to the previous speaker. It was very insightful. It was a lot of fun to kind of hear, and I really do like that those last statements about staying hungry and staying kind of letting people not know quite so much about what you know, just because you're going to continue to gain some insight there. It's interesting to kind of look back at my career sometimes and think a little bit about that. So I truly enjoyed that. But yeah, thank you for the invite to speak with you today. It is indeed an honor, and I hope to be able to meet most of you in person at some point in time. But what I wanted to talk a little bit about today is energizing tomorrow, solutions, people, and energy. And yeah, that's the new tagline for SPE. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Definitely a little bit of play on our Society of Petroleum Engineers name. And we'll get into that a little bit here in a minute. So I just wanted to start off with a little bit about SPE and kind of where we stand as a society right now. On the left-hand side there is our 2024 membership. We are still getting 2025 numbers, so we're kind of working with the 2024. But you can see we're about 127,000 members worldwide. About 68,000 of those are professional members and 59,000 are student members. So you can see a little bit of an increase. We're still kind of rebounding a little bit from the pandemic still. But those are good and encouraging for the society as a whole. On the right-hand side, then you can see the percentage members by professionals on the top and students on the bottom there. And what you see really is a changing dynamic and little demographics there. And you can see that a lot of our professional members have been in the North American and MENA areas. And that is definitely changing when we start to look at students where it's in Africa and Asia Pacific. And no surprise, that's really kind of where a lot of growth in our industry is really located. So always kind of interesting to see how those are changing and really where the future of our society is. Over time, we do membership surveys, and in the past year, we did a little bit more of a really detailed membership survey from the board of directors standpoint. And this really was to take a look at the offerings that are given by the society and kind of see where people's interests are and where maybe we need to make people more aware of opportunities that are out there as an SPE member. And it's a kind of a busy chart. This is not necessarily a chart I tell my students to put together because it's so busy, but you can see that there's about 9,000 respondents. A lot of awareness, usage, and satisfaction with different programs, but again, there's some places where maybe the awareness needs to be a little bit better. Overall, probably not surprising, and probably a lot of reasons that you all are here today. A lot of strong engagement and deep commitment to Society of Petroleum Engineers and SPE and what the society is all about and what it can do for our members. But there is some room for awareness and improvement in some of these programs. And probably not surprising, but if you look over here, the blue is aware and have used, gray is aware but haven't used, and this light blue is unaware of those particular programs. And really not surprising, probably things like SPE.org website, SPE events like the one we're on today, those are kind of high on the list. And if you get down here around things like Energy for Me, SPE Foundation, competency matrices, these are some of the least aware, least unused. Not saying that they're bad or we're going to get rid of them or anything like that. It's more just different people have different focuses and interest on what they use the society for. So now let's talk a little bit about that tagline. So really, what's in a tagline and what is a tagline? I'm going to give you not quite so much a quiz. I'm going to give you the answers associated with the quiz. But if you look at some taglines, Can You Hear Me Now is a pretty well-used tagline, at least in the US. And that's Verizon, a cell phone service type of system. And really anywhere probably in the North American continent, if you hear that, Can You Hear Me Now, you associate it with Verizon. One that I think transfers a little more internationally, Just Do It, Nike. Everybody kind of just knows Just Do It is associated with Nike. It's not the name of the company, but it definitely is some wording that people associate with that particular sports equipment company. And then another one I'm loving it from McDonald's. But when you look at what's in a tagline, it's really brand recognition, but also the vision and mission. And so, yes, SPE has a vision and mission. We do, but it's like many things. It's a big, long paragraph. We wanted something that was a little bit shorter and really hit at what are we as a society and what's our vision and what's our mission. And when you look at that, that's where Solutions, People, and Energy comes in. We are a group of worldwide engineers, not just engineers. Interestingly enough, a large majority of people that belong to the society do not necessarily have an engineering background and definitely aren't necessarily petroleum engineers by any means. But when we look at what we do as a society, we are there to help provide solutions. We're there to help educate people, both maybe each other from a technical standpoint, but also maybe the general public from a what's the need for energy, and then of course energy. It's very important to life. It's very important to all of us as human beings, and we're there to kind of help support that. So we're going to dive a little deeper into those different components. But when you are starting to look at what is a solution, you also kind of have to ask yourself, what's the problem that you're trying to solve, right? And when you look at the problem that we're trying to solve, or at least trying to help benefit the world with, is this energy trilemma of security, affordability, and sustainability. The world needs energy, and we need energy in a secure way. We need it to be affordable for everybody, and we need it to be sustainable. And I get asked a lot about what sustainability is. Sustainability is really using resources, but not compromising the future of the future of our people from also using those resources. And so we have to, when we look at this, we are really trying to make sure that people have access to energy, but that it's not damaging and it's affordable, okay, to everybody. Again, that's an important one, right? And on the right-hand side there, this is just from the UN, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen Sustainable Development Goals from the United Nations, but this is number 7, and it talks about affordability and of clean energy. And it's really saying, you know, we are in a situation where there's a lot of people in the world that have access to secure, affordable, and sustainable energy, but not everybody does. And that's something that our industry and us as individuals can really work to help with. And so, you know, there's probably preached a little bit to the choir, right? There's a lot of places in Africa, but also in other parts of the world where people don't have access to electricity to even have lights on at night, or they spend all day trying to worry about how we're going to cook dinner and using pretty unclean fuels when it comes to it. We need energy efficiency to more than double its pace if we are going to be able to provide the amount of energy that it's predicted to need in the future, it being us, the world, right? But that's the other thing, is the world's population is increasing. So not only are we trying to bring up the standard of living that we're looking at right now for current population, but we're also expecting the world's population to increase. So now it's just not it's not just a percentage, the gross number is also increasing in the energy. So energy needs are going up, and the standard of living's going up, and people's standard of living, if they don't have a strong standard of living, they want to see that go up too, right? So we have this ever increasing need for additional energy. And this is just talking about things like standard of living. We're not even getting to the fact that artificial intelligence, machine learning, some of these new areas are going to need more and more energy on top of what we already produce. This is another graph that I kind of like, and it really drives home some of these points. And this is from the World Economic Forum. It's from 2019, so it's a little bit old, but the numbers or the trends are still there. The numbers might be changing a little bit, but what we got is energy consumption per capita and income per capita. And really what this is showing is there are no low energy rich countries, that energy really drives, again, that ability for a high standard of living and to have the resources to really increase that standard of living. So now let's talk a little bit about the solutions, people, energy, but I'm going to go in reverse order. I'm going to go with energy first. So when we look at energy, and I know a lot of you probably have seen predictions of the energy needs that we're going to need in the future. And this is just one. There's a lot of them out there. This is from the IEA, International Energy Agency. And what you're seeing here is and of course, we're about right here, give or take. And then the exajoules that we're going to need as a world from an energy standpoint. And these are different scenarios on whether where we see clean energy reaching a peak in fossil fuels and then clean energy taking over. And so when you look at this particular prediction, and again, there's others out there, BP puts one out, Shell puts one out, so industry entities put them out. There's other governments that put them out. But I just kind of like this particular graph because I think it says some interesting things here in a minute. I'll show you. But what you see is, coal decreasing, no surprise there. We see natural gas plateauing right here in the purple. And then you will see a little bit of a decrease in oil, although I did see a rebroadcast forecast here yesterday about they're expecting to see a little bit of an increase in oil. And then what you see is you see clean energy taking off. So if you add all these, in 2015, if you add all those different sources up, that's where we see the increase in the need for energy as a world. But of course, you see the skyrocketing clean energy. But what I want to show you is always look a little bit at the small print when you are taking a look at things like this. And so down here in the bottom, what I just highlighted, oil, coal, natural gas, as they're showing up here on the chart, refer to unabated uses, which means that we're not controlling emissions, greenhouse gas emissions. But if I click down here, clean energy includes renewables. We're not surprised there, modern bioenergy, nuclear, but abated fossil fuels and low emissions hydrogen. What abated fossil fuels are is controlling greenhouse gas emissions. So even though this says clean energy and people have an association of clean energy being with renewables, this particular prediction actually has natural gas and oil in the prediction as far as that really big need, but it's just doing it in an abated way. Again, controlling methane emissions, controlling CO2 emissions to prevent greenhouse gas impacts. And so this is just kind of driving home the fact that net zero does not equal no production. We just have to do it right, and we have to do it in a better way than we have historically. The world, when you look at us as a human race, we have never gotten rid of an energy source that we were using historically, except for one, and that was whale oil. So the whales that we used to burn in the 1700s, 1800s, burn the whale oil to light lamps, that got displaced by oil and natural gas. So that's the only energy source that we have historically gotten rid of in the past. We're going to need more energy. We're going to need it in a much more sustainable manner. We're going to need to be able to do this and continue to provide that need and that energy need that we have out there. And that's one of the great things that SPE can help do, and that you all can help do as you progress in your careers, is help to improve how we produce the energy, but also help increase the amount of energy that we're going to have. So we help provide that standard of living, and we do that through innovation. And we do it through innovation of technical advances, transferring that technology around the world. That's one of the great things about having a worldwide society, is I can learn about something that's going on in China and apply that to something that's going on in the North Sea, okay? So keep in mind that as you develop your skills, and the previous speaker was talking a lot about developing leadership skills and perhaps some soft skills, keep in mind that SPE can do both. It can also help develop your soft skills, but also your hard skills and that technology skill. Which brings us to the people side of the coin a little bit. When we look at people, SPE helps build and strengthen those connections, and that's one of the things that we're doing here. We gotta love the internet. Maybe one of the best things that came out, or the only good thing that came out of the pandemic, is the ability to do a lot more virtual interactions like this and be able to talk to each other around the world. But it helps us bring together people and build those connections. It helps offer collaboration opportunities. I know a lot of people that have developed mentorships or friendships or collaborations, technical collaborations through SPE and through being able to use some of those opportunities that as a society it provides to us. Offers a place to meet new people in new locations. A lot of you are starting off on your careers. You're going to have probably an opportunity to move different places or transfer different areas, whether it's intercountry or extra country. There's a lot of different opportunities to kind of meet new folks as you get into those areas through SPE, and it's a connection that we all kind of have. And then we as a society also help, as I mentioned earlier, to educate the public. And some of you might be familiar a little bit with this and some might not be, but we have a website out there called energyforme.org. Now, SP is a nonprofit focused on education, not advocacy. So we're not here to lobby. People ask me a lot, do I like go to Washington, D.C. and lobby the U.S. government? I don't, because that's not what SP is here for. There's other groups out there that lobby governments, and that's what they're for, and that's what they're developed for. But we as a society are really, again, here to help educate. And Energy for Me can really do that. It doesn't just talk about fossil fuels, oil, natural gas. It talks about all areas of energy. And it really helps to educate the public. And one thing that I found about educating the public and what we as SPE members can do is really to just help any level of interaction. There's no magic bullet to explain to people what we do. There's definitely some people that are not really thrilled with our industry. That's just the nature of the game. That's fine. But if we can help educate them about the need for energy in general, that helps them to understand a little bit about what we do. And it just helps them to kind of, like it says right there, to form their own conclusions and to help them understand about the ability for us to do energy development and sustainability ways. But the fact that people are going to need more energy. And when you go to plug in something at the wall, that electricity just doesn't magically come out of the wall, right? There's an entire supply chain that's going on behind it. And we're not gonna be able to solve that for everybody or win everybody over in our industry. Many of you have probably heard about the 80-20 rule that 80% 20% solutions fix the 80% problems. For us, it's probably more like 20-60-20, and what I mean by that is 20% of the people already understand what we do. 20% of the world really is not going to understand what we do and probably is never going to change their opinion about what we do. But that 60% in the middle, those are the people who we're really trying to help educate and to help understand about the good things that our industry does and the things that we can help offer solutions for. So the last one, getting to the solutions. SPE, take advantage of your membership. We're the premier resource for technology, professional development, collaborative solutions, taking advantage of some of the things that we're doing today. Hub for learning. Doesn't matter if you're a student or a very senior professional, there's always a place to something new to learn. I was in Canada this week talking to some young professionals there, and I was telling them, I always learn. I'm always learning something new. I learned something from them, and I'm sure I'll learn something from you all today. And one thing to kind of keep in mind, you are the solution. You are the future of our industry. You are the future of the people that are going to come up with those really bright, brilliant ideas that are going to allow us to continue to do things in the right way. And as I kind of meet people around the world, it's people like you that kind of give me hope that we're going to be able to do some really cool things in the future. So your job today, and when you have other meetings like this, I am a professor. I do have to give a little bit of homework. So your job today, exchange, explore, collaborate, learn, get to know each other, work together, and you're going to have those opportunities to really make an impact for everybody in the future. So with that, I will end. I will say thank you. It's been a pleasure to join you today, and I'm happy to entertain some questions or answer some questions that you might have. If you want to put them in the chat or raise your hand or however you want to go about it, Paul, I'm open to that. So thank you again.
All right, thank you very much, Doctor. It was wonderful having you, and the session was quite eye-opening and insightful. And I believe everyone has actually gotten one or two things that they will have to go back to their various communities and ensure they make a change. So briefly, do we have anyone with any question, or you could just quickly, we'll just take one, and you can just drop others in the chat box while Doctor would help us attend to it. Well, if there's anyone who wants to just ask a question briefly, is there anyone for now?
And I'm happy to answer. Yeah, go ahead,
Sorry.
please. Yeah, go ahead.
All right,
Yeah,
thank you.
yes. Let's just ask 2026 SP International President. What are we expecting for next year coming? You coming on board? Yes.
For what I'm going to be focused on next year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
So you got a little bit of a taste of it right here. For me, there's a couple of things that I'm going to focus on. One, our societies in general have seen a little bit of a drop in membership just across the board, not just SPE, but any kind of society in the world after the pandemic. One of my big drivers is to help people understand just what the Society of Petroleum Engineers can help them with and can help their careers with. So I'm going to be pretty focused on that. Also along those lines, for me, a big focus is going to be young professionals and students. Not that I'm going to ignore the more senior professionals, but I think really the future of our industry lies within the young professionals and the students, and getting students to convert and come into the society. So I think a lot of kind of showing people what it's all about and what it can do for them as a career, right? It's a two-way street. Individuals can help the society, but the society can also help individuals. And the thing about that is we are the society. The society is made up of members. So let's see what we can do to help each other with some of these questions.
All right, thank you very much for that answer. And we are glad, because YPs are the ones who organize this, and we're glad to hear that you have us at heart. So hopefully your tenure things that we're going to really have a lot of collaborations and even impactful programs to ensure that we become the best version of ourselves. Thank you very much, ma'am. So moving on, so in case you just have any other question, you could just drop it in the chat box. I'm sure Dr. Jennifer would attend to them. So without so as not to take too much of our time, while she was still speaking, I had our ARD, African General Director, who came on board, and Dr. Rivers in Opong. Could you say hello to us, sir?
Hi, Riverson. How are you?
Okay, probably it's.
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Hello.
I'm good.
All right. Thank you
Yeah.
very much, sir. All right. So is he going to be coming on board? Because one of our panels. So is he going to be coming on board? So before we go to the panel session, which is the next, we'd like to take a picture. We'd like to take a photograph session with Dr. Jennifer and every other one on call. So yeah, so this is going to be the first photograph session. So please, everyone, turn on your videos so we can see your beautiful and handsome faces. I'm going to be turning mine on.
Yes, Prof, I'm here. How are you? Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation.
All right, thank you. I can see Sylvia, I can see Esther, I can see Afolabi, Ibo, Madam Tessie. All right. Lajide. All right, Umar, Solomon, Jude. Okay, I can see everyone. So I'm going to be taking the first shot. So, All right. SPE, you can unmute so that I can hear you when you respond. SPE.
Cleaner
Cleaner
energy.
energy.
Cleaner energy.
Okay, that's the first shot. Let me go to the next page. Okay. Nothing. All right, we're gonna do it again. SPE with a thumbs up now.
Cleaner energy.
Clean energy. Yeah.
All right, thank you, everyone. So you can turn off your videos now. Thank you, Dr. Jennifer. We can overstate how excited we are to have you here. Thank you. All right.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Yeah. So without further ado, I'll put up my screen now so we can continue with the session coming. Let me try to put up my screen. All right, put it in slideshow so we can see. Okay. All right. Okay, we've gone through the icebreaker session already while we're waiting for the keynote speaker. So, but before we go into the panel session, I'd just like you to engage the chat box. The program started around 12:30 and up till now, what has been your experience so far? I know I asked you at the beginning, I asked what are you expecting? What was the expectation? So now in the past 1 or 2 or almost 2 hours, how has your expectation transformed into an experience? So describe that experience for us in one word. So let me see. How has it been for you? Let's see. Okay. Awesome, insightful. Okay. All right. Who else is giving us experience? Great. All right. Okay. Amazing. Of course. Been an amazing session. All right. Thank you, Pleasant. All right. Thank you very much. Although I wasn't expecting anything less, but I just needed to confirm. Thank you very much. So I'll hand over to Sylvia now, my co-moderator, to take us into the panel session. Thank you. Sylvia, confirm you're on call and you're here. Please confirm you can all hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Paul. So without wasting any much time, we just go right straight to the panel section. And moderating this panel section will be Jude Alele, the planning engineer at Tumba Resources, and also Esther Uwane, an environmental education officer. So Jude, Esther, are you on the call? Over to you guys.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon from here. It's been an amazing session. Yes, I'm Wani Esther, and I'll be moderating today's session alongside with Jude. Okay, so before we go right on ahead, I have a few words. I really want to appreciate our keynote lecturer, Rume Daniels, and also Dr. Jennifer for their amazing talks and sharing with us from their wealth of expertise. And something I also picked from them is exchange, explore, contribute, and learn. So this is a very good opportunity for you to do that. And for young people like us, please stay hungry, stay focused, and keep it going. So right about now, we have 4 amazing panelists already on the call. So I would give the floor over to Jude to make an introduction. Jude, you have the floor.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Trust you've enjoyed yourself. So we've had a very power-packed session. We've learned a whole lot. I'm glad that we're going into another highlights of the event where we're going to have seasoned professionals from different fields speak to us about their experience so far as leaders. So for a start, we're going to be having, as you can see on your screen already, we have Dr. Riverson Opong. Dr. Riverson is an oil and gas expert with expertise in global experience. He is currently the MD, CEO, Industrial Coordinator of AOMC, LPGMC in Ghana, and an adjunct lecturer at multiple universities. With a PhD in oil and gas management and multiple degrees from global institutions, he has contributed in Ghana's energy sector recovery program, gas master plan and major oil and gas field developments across Africa and beyond. So Dr. Riverson, we are glad to meet you. We hope that we're going to have a very packed-in and panel session. You've worked across multiple countries and industries from academia. Is there anything you would love to say here? We would like to meet you briefly. Dr. Riverson, are you here with us? Okay, while he joins in, we want to go to the next panelist for the day. We have Temitope Oshuntiyi. So I'll go straight by reading his profile. So Temitope Oshuntiyi is a leadership and communication expert with over 15 years of experience. He's a certified behavioral analyst and consultant. He helps professionals to maximize their potential. He's also a dedicated SPE member where he has served in various capacities, local, regional, and international levels. He has also received an award from SPE International in 2019, the Public Service Award for Africa. He was also the SPE Lagos section chair and is currently the Chief of Staff to the SPE Nigerian Council chair. So Mr. Temitope, we're glad to have you here on the call, and we hope that we're going to learn a lot from you. If you should have anything to say just for our listeners to catch up with you, you can go ahead. Looks like you're muted, sir.
Thanks, Jude, and good afternoon to everyone from Warri section and all around the world, wherever you might be. It's an honor to be here, and I hope you have a fantastic and insightful session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, we look forward to that as well. So we'll go to the next panelist for the day. We have Madam Beatrice Sinyabola. She has a background in chemical engineering, started a career as an operations engineer before transitioning into her current role as an economist for low carbon energy projects at Shell. Over the years, Madam Beatrice has specialized in investment valuation for technologies such as hydrogen and other alternative fuels, which your SPE International chair for 2026 has talked about here in her address. She also is a strong advocate for early career development and diversity with several projects she has spearheaded, and she has also led university partnerships and also served as a board of the AFB in UK, co-hosting leadership programs and also Africa's Big Switch podcast, which she explores energy solutions for Africa's future. So, Madam, we're glad to have you here on this event. We hope to learn a lot from you as well. So, we'd like to get to meet you as well for 1 minute, if you don't mind.
Yeah, thanks for having me again. Hi everyone, it's very lovely to be here. I'm looking forward to sharing some nuggets around leadership and what I've learned so far in my maybe younger career compared to the panelists that we have on today. But I'm looking forward to sharing some of my insights. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much. Of course, there is no end to learning, so definitely we'll be learning a lot from each other here. Yes, so we'll go to the next panelist for the day. We have Dr. George Iwo. Yeah, sorry, my audio was messing up there. Sorry about that. So we have Dr. George Iwo. So Engineer Iwo is a seasoned professional with over 20 years experience in the oil and gas industry. He's specialized in surface facilities, downhole operations, HSE management, currently at NAOC, which is popularly known as Owando. And he has also pioneered in innovations in electrical submersible pumps, as well as integrity solutions. He's currently the CEO of Pegis Global Services. He leads strategic operations and industry solutions. Beyond that as well, he has also been a recipient of the SPE Presidential Award, where he was recognized for his contributions in shaping of the oil and gas industry in Nigeria and beyond. So Dr. George Iwo, you're welcome, and we're glad to have you on this show.
Thank you, Section 104 Warri, for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you, and I'm looking forward to an exciting contribution and discussions.
All right. Thank you so much, Jude, for reading out the profiles of our panelists. We are glad to have all of you here. Before we continue the session, we would like to also confirm if Dr. Riverson is back on the call. Please, could you signify if you're back? Okay, so we would proceed with the session while we also do a check-in from time to time to see if he's back on the call. Okay, so this is the time to have really interesting conversation regards leadership and how each of us has functioned in different roles. And there's always something to learn when we share our stories. Okay, so my first question will be from Madam Beatrice. I would like to know because for young professionals, it's difficult trying to maintain a balance, and you see sometimes our health just get lopsided. We don't really pay attention to it because we are giving so much at work and all of that. So from your experience, how do you prioritize self-care? How do you maintain a balance with your work, with your personal life, and also with your leadership roles? Please, could you provide us an answer in, let's say, a minute? Thank you.
Okay, yes, I'll try to do it in 1 minute. So I think the very first thing I'll say is it's important to understand that the quality of life that you live and that you give yourself is essentially defines how much you're able to do and how well you're able to produce. So I think I'll start from there, because I think when you understand the need to prioritize your self-care and your own personal development, you see that it would generally affect your leadership. And the reason why I say this is because by you understanding that it's important, and that's when you're able to prioritize it. And for me, the way I treat it is I essentially treat it as another necessity. The same way you need to eat is the same way I treat upskilling, the same way I treat self-care and finding the right balance when it comes to work. So everyone that works generally has some kind of work calendar or work schedule. Kind of work calendar or work schedule where they have meetings, they have projects they're working on. Have you considered, if you haven't already, scheduling in time and blocking out time for personal development, for self-improvements, when it comes to work and upskilling? Because we're in a society that things are moving very quickly. Technology is developing fast, way beyond anybody's expectations, where you have to keep up to date with what's going on, the improvements that are coming along, and how we can help you deliver more and better and also quicker. And with regards to self-care and taking care of yourself, like I said, being clear about your boundaries as well. So when you go into work, everybody wants to give all that we can, make sure that we're coming forward, putting our best foot forward, and also delivering as much as we can. But also be cautious and make sure you draw the line so that you don't end up burning out, because that's something that's real. And I've experienced that with people in my teams completely burning out to the extent where they're unable to produce, and that doesn't help anyone. So think about the importance of it for you. Think about potential consequences of not prioritizing it, and then actively take steps. Don't just make plans, take steps by physically putting plans into your calendar, blocking out space in your calendar to grow yourself, but also to take time away. And for me, I think that's the best way to approach it, or at least one of the best ways to approach ensuring that you're taking care of yourself, but also ensuring that you're doing your best to stay connected and upskill.
Thank you so much, Madam Beatrice. Yeah, we really enjoyed that. So you just kind of like trying to emphasize on how we could actually prioritize certain things while also ensuring that we find time to also upskill. So yes, we'll be moving to the next question. Dr. George Iwo, this is for you. Your profile, we read a very rich profile of you where we saw that you had over 2 years, 2 decades of experience in the oil and gas sector. So we want to know, beyond technical excellence, you've also shown deep involvement in mentorship and also philanthropy activities. So given your impact, what does leaving a lasting legacy actually mean to you? And what strategies can leaders adopt to ensure that their influence continues beyond just their tenure?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Paul, for that. I will go straight. Before I go, I like to make us understand what legacy we're talking about. What legacy, people look at it as something that a good thing you leave behind, something appreciable that you leave behind. But legacy actually can be negative as well. So I want to believe what we're talking about here is a legacy that brings forth the good things, the attributes, the things that you leave behind, the actions and the inactions that you have left behind that becomes positive in the lives of people. And so that's legacy. And when such a thing outlives you while you leave that section, maybe you're a student, and before when you leave school, there's a part of life that you play that makes people talk about you every now and then in a good light. That's legacy. And when it outlives you, it's something that is worthwhile. So when you say, what does legacy and living a last legacy look like? It brings that happiness in you. It makes you feel relaxed that yes, you actually contributed and people are looking up to you. Now that's one side. Secondly, there are strategies where leaders can actually employ to ensure their impact endures forever. And one of which is the habit of ensuring that lifestyle that you live, that you know that is satisfying, that people look up to, it's something you don't just live on your own. You do it in a way of carrying all people around you along. You make people have the impact of what you have. You bring that lifestyle beyond your impacted your own lifestyle, and ensuring that everybody that's within you have a feel of it. You become a little bit empathetic, and you make it very important in your life. I'll give you a short story just before I end. When you read my story about how we make things happen, how I've been able to go this far, my likeness for young professionals and for students, it's something that everyone talk about. And anywhere I go, I always make that impact to show that, look, you are the future generations. And if I consider myself as also a youth, or another, there are people that are younger. And that has become part and parcel of me, that wherever I go in SPA, say, oh, he likes the young professional, oh, he likes the students to grow. That's the legacy. That's something that I think that people need to look up. Apart from that, as a parent, as a worker in a place, the lifestyle that you show positively should be something that is consistent, that people look up to. And with that, people can begin to talk about it even when you leave. Up till now, I think we'll talk about whatever I have done, wherever I go to. And that is something I do encourage, that even as we look up to tomorrow, let's always try to show forth good legacy that people will live to talk about for good. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Iwo. And he has shared that attributes that you leave behind is actually a legacy. So that's something for us to think about. Do not think that you're living for yourself, because at the end of time, you will just be like, okay, what have I lived for? Who have I impacted? So it's not really about the material things, it's how much lives you have touched. So that's for us young people. Please, before we go ahead, can Dr. Riverson confirm if is available on the call right now?
Yes, I am. But sorry for the mishaps right here.
Okay, amazing. Good to have you back. So, in 1 minute, please, we would like you, sir, to share a personal experience of yours with us of a challenge that you experienced in your leadership journey, how you navigated through, and something that you learned from it. I really appreciate this part of sharing personal experiences, because I know that 1 or 2 person might be able to relate with it, take the lessons and run with it. Thank you so much. I would love to hear from you now. You can go on, sir.
All right, fantastic. So I think along my career, one of the things that that come to my mind when this kind of question is thrown to me has to do with a decision I took without consulting my board. So there was a group of people whose work affected mine, right? And they went on. I mean, they actually went on strike, and this actually happened just last year around May. So we met the regulator. We met this group of people, and EC2 was to take a decision. And I know for sure that that decision had to go to my board for approval. But it was a Thursday, and we needed them to go back to work before Friday. And if they don't go to work, that will be a national security issue here in Ghana. So what did I do? I signed on to the MOU after thinking very, very deeply, to be honest with you. In fact, I even prayed in my head about it. And I signed the MOU. I signed the MOU because I had a plan B, right? I had a plan B. You will not believe it that, Esther, I had a lot of accusation. My board pointed hands on me. But I think the few ones who understood what I was doing were quiet and just watching me. And this one I had just assumed the position as the CEO of the Chamber of Oil Marketing Companies here in Ghana, which we call the MEMAN in Nigeria. And to be fair, everybody else was happy that these tanker drivers were were going back to work on Friday to load fuel to stations because there were going to be shortage if they didn't go back to work. But on Monday, I had to face my board. Why I signed the memo. My board, who are the CEOs of the oil marketing companies, were happy that they have fuel to sell, but at the same time, they're not happy that I've signed into a memo that I've agreed to their plea and what they want. But like I said, I knew what I had done, and I actually ignited the fire from behind. And even though I had signed onto the memo that I had agreed, it couldn't work. It couldn't work because I had to work from behind the scene. All right. So I think that was one of the biggest challenge I have had in my life. I mean, numerous of them. But what I learned from it is the ability of a leader to take decision on the foot. And the issue of receiving and accepting critique, you know, as an individual, people are going to criticize you even when they benefit from what you do, right? So I believe that I took an action that helped the whole country, not only my members. And today, after I succeeded, now I'm free to take any decision I want. But that's also scary anyway, when your board asks you to take any decision you want because now they trust you. Thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Riverson, thank you so much for that. I think that we all have our own experience, even as we grow in the professional space of these obstacles and challenges. So is what actually matters in the end is how we are able to come out from them, and hopefully we'll come out and successfully without having issues. So yeah, we switch to the next panelist. It's Temisope. So yes, you know, we've looked at your profile. You know, it shows that you're a seasoned coach and trainer. You have well over 15 years of experience when it comes to leadership development. So we'd love to know, from your perspective, what are those effective ways which leaders can communicate their vision to inspire and mobilize their teams? We'd love to really know.
Thanks, Jude. So when it comes to how leaders can effectively communicate their vision and their dreams and inspire their team members or people generally around them, for me, the way I see it is that, you see, when people first meet you, they listen to what you say. Like, you are meeting me for the first time, for instance, but perhaps I've read my profile, but you probably don't know me. So whatever I tell you, you will listen to me. But down the line, usually about 6 months, or by the time you meet the person after the third time, there is an instinct part of your followers, the leaders that are trying to follow you, that they are not listening to what you are saying again. Instead, they are looking at your action and mirroring your actions, mirroring what you do. So if you are saying something, but you are doing something contrary, your action is not in sync with what you are saying, you will find it difficult to communicate your vision to your people. You are telling your people to work hard to make sure that this vision of maybe transforming the company or launching a new product should go through, but you are coming late to work. You are not responding to messages. Whenever they call you on that particular project, you are not available. And you come to the meeting on Monday, or whenever you have the next meeting, I should tell them, oh, we need to make this happen. Trust me, you are just shouting. It's not going to happen. So after a while, people don't really listen to you. They listen and mirror your action. At least they follow your action. So try as much as possible, be true to yourself by being consistent with your values and your level of productivity, so that people don't follow, because at the end of the day, people don't follow your dreams as leaders, they actually follow you. So whatever project you are on, once they buy into you, they definitely will buy into that project. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Temitope. For our young professionals out there, you can see that your words and your action must be in sync in order to get the people moving. So you wouldn't say one thing and do something entirely different. Thank you so much so far, panelists. So we'll be moving right on. For Ma'am Beatrice, this question is for you, and I'm so eager to hear your response, or possibly maybe share a personal story of how you've navigated Yeah, so what's the best approach for handling conflicts in work settings, in a professional setting? How do you handle? Because definitely conflicts may arise, challenging situation that would make someone angry would definitely arise. Two people disagreeing, that would come up much more than often. So for you, how have you maintained decorum? How have you scaled through these times, and what lessons are we to learn from it? The floor is open to you now, ma'am. Do we still have Ma'am Beatrice on the call?
I was talking to myself, I was muted. No, but I'm here. Thanks,
Go ahead
Esther.
then.
Yes, thanks, Esther. So from my point of view, conflicts arise due to various reasons. So sometimes it's differences in beliefs, it's differences in the way that people process things. So they're based on their past experiences. It could be even miscommunication. So essentially, you have to start by doing that, by trying to identify what it is that is the root cause of that kind of conflict. And I guess I'll give you a little bit of an example of something that happened in a team that I was leading a couple of years ago. And it was essentially due to two, I would say, younger members of the team at the time, who were now put on a development program. They were both supposed to be learning a new sort of unit to be able to operate it. And at this time, I never, because I was sort of new to the team at the time, and I'd set off this development for them. For me, I was thinking, okay, this is great. They can both be developing at the same time, and we don't have to wait for one person to go over the other. So essentially, I then found out that there was some history with both of them, where ultimately one of them had felt that he had had more time in that role and in that position. And therefore, there's this sort of unspoken authority, unspoken prioritization that should come with him. And he should therefore be going through the same development programs, but earlier than the other person, or also getting some more opportunities than the other person was. So I didn't realize that by trying to provide development opportunities for these two people, that I was creating, I was fueling a fire that already kind of existed, or some kind of spark that already existed. I was fueling it a little bit more. And so the way to deal with this kind of situation, when I eventually found out, I noticed that there would be slight comments between the two of them whenever they were both on site and working the same shifts. They would just always, whenever they had issues, it would always end up being way bigger than it needed to be, or being blown out of proportion. So essentially the way to deal with this, and the way that I've found, is, like I said already, try and understand the source of this, and start off by also not being partial. So you cannot be partial. You can't be seen to be taking sides. You can't also approach with judgments, because again, each person will have their own story. I'm sure we hear about people having different sides of a story whenever something is going on. So whether it's something personal, or you're dealing with conflicts within your team, don't approach with judgment. Seek to understand and be curious. So seek to understand what it is that is the real problem, and understand the root cause of where this is coming from. And then with this, you then try and gain an understanding. So try and gain better understanding of what this problem is, this root cause. That could either be from speaking to the people involved, or also speaking to other people about how they seem to see how this has played out. It could end up being that one person is more at fault than the other. But again, without taking sides, seek to understand, and then eventually approach with good intention. So again, communication resolves a lot of things, whether it's with people that are within your team and they are leading, or with your peers, your own colleagues, with your bosses. Just be clear about your expectations, be clear about how you may have taken certain things that they've said. And ultimately, you might find out that through communication, you resolve things very easily, because they've used certain words that they haven't meant, or they have taken certain actions that they didn't mean to come a certain way to you. So yeah, approach with good intention. Make it clear that you're there to help resolve an issue. Also, don't be condescending. There's nothing that people hate more, even if they're in the wrong. Just approach it with this is my own view. What do you think? What do you think about this? How this has played out? Engage them a little bit more. And then with this, you can then get to a point where you're able to potentially come to a resolution. And from my side of things, with the team that I was working on, eventually I found out that with the training that was being done, the person that, again, always felt like they should have been prioritized over the other person, had this from nowhere in their head. They had thought that only one person could eventually get passed off in a certain year. And essentially those sort of things, whenever you get more qualified to do something, you get a pay rise. So essentially he was thinking that based on being put on this development path alongside the other person, he would then be passed over for potentially additional, I don't know, let's say 10% increase in salary over a year and miss out on that. But again, with just communication, I understood where that was coming from. I clarified that was not the case, and we could have more than 2 people almost get that pay rise in the same year. And that sort of underlying bitterness that would have ended up causing some of the actions that he was taking would eventually disappear based on that kind of communication. So for me, that's kind of how I would summarize it. Approach it with an impartial view, communicate, and try and find a common ground, try and find a resolution that works for everybody. You won't always get to that point, but I think even making that attempt will make people reconsider their actions and reconsider their approach to those sorts of situations.
Okay, thank you so much, Madam Beatrice. That was really insightful, looking at how we could, it makes me remember one of the quotes by Ronald Reagan. He talked about looking at how we could, see peace as not the absence of conflict, but the ability to be able to handle conflict by peaceful means. So having that open-ended conversation and also trying to know what the origin of such a conflict was would actually help us to settle such, especially as team leads, that some of us here may actually be. So move to the next question. Dr. George Iwo, next question is for you. We've seen, as members, young professionals in the SP world, we've seen your passion for mentoring young professionals across Africa, which you also talked about in your first response. So we want to actually know, in your view, what role does mentorship actually play when it comes to leadership? And do you also think that what's your own opinion on how young professionals can actually identify and build relationships with the right mentors, picking that right mentor to actually guide them in their professional growth?
Okay, thank you again for second time. This question speaks a lot about me because of my passion for mentorship, for bringing up the young ones, and my love for the younger ones to grow. And when you say what role mentorship plays in leadership is a broad, very broad word. And because of how big it is, it has a lot of words that could be ascribed to it, that are linked to it. So mentorship is just a subset of leadership. Some persons actually lead by way of influence. And that influence is like an acronym that has a lot of words with it. Something that has to do with flexibility, by way of having a good negotiation, by way of having compassionate, being love and empathy and all that. People live by that. And even in that, I don't have like mentorship in it. But mentorship is very, very key in leadership. As a leader, if you're not a mentor, if you're not a good mentor, you won't be able to have the best of followers, neither will you be able to have the best of results. And when a leader becomes self-centered without having that mentorship in it, there is a tendency that the outcome of whatever the vision is rather thwarted or truncated halfway. So mentorship is very, very important in leadership. Every leader must learn to mentor, and every leader is compulsory a mentor. Now, I don't want to say a boss. I'm trying to differentiate between a leader and a boss. So when you are a leader, you should be able to know that this aspect of this aspect of mentorship should be inherent, and you must be able to distribute it to all followers for them to know that yes, you're actually doing the right thing. Now, how does this mentorship actually come to be in leadership? You will realize that in the first instance, when we talked about when Timi was talking about people begin to mirror what you do, and that is mentorship. When they look at what you're doing in line with what you were saying, it becomes part of mentorship, and it makes people grow with the leadership that you have influenced on them. Having said that, I really want to talk about how you find a good mentor. To find a good mentor means that you should be able to know exactly what you want. I have realized that so many persons do not know what they want before they go looking for a mentor. You must know what you want, and then you look at someone that be able to give you what you want before you go and approach and mentor someone. So you begin to see people that actually have what you want, and then you can be able to go to them and then ask them to mentor you. I also want to say one thing. There is a difference between mentorship and sponsorship. I see a lot of people come to meet people for mentorship, but instead of coming with a mindset of being mentored, they come with a mindset of being sponsored to do one thing or the other. So that's in a way, try to deter away the mentors that you need to get that want to come to you. So when young professionals are looking for mentors, they should look for mentors that will guide them through what area they really want to grow. Having known the exact area and ensuring that that area is well spelled out. As a mentor, the mentor will be able to draw a program and ensure that that program is well followed alongside what the real reason for the mentorship is all about, and ensure that the mentee gets what is needed. I also want to say this, that to find an effective mentor means knowing what you want and ensuring finding it through the persons you want, somebody that you admire, and then you can approach the person. When you do that, please apply discipline. Ensure that you are disciplined for that you want and don't deviate. By so doing, I'm sure young professionals will be well guided as to ensure that they get the best out of life instead of going for a different aspect of whether sponsorship, as the case may be. Thank you.
Amazing one, Dr. George. Thank you so much for sharing. So you've heard that mentorship is really, and you should also have something to offer as young persons while you are seeking mentorship. Always have value to offer to as well. Okay, thank you so much. Dr. Riverson, this question is for you. In 1 minute, some days ago I wrote about how do we measure our growth or our leadership, if it has been sustainable, if it has actually made and used over the years to say, okay, yes, I've actually been a good leader. And how can we as young persons, what indicators should we use to show that we are on the right path on leadership? Could you share with us, please?
Yeah, I think this is a very great question. Similar to what Doc had answered. He did well by touching on the key things around lifestyle. And I think as a leader, as we are, including yourself, Esther, don't think that leaders are only the CEOs and the bosses. Everybody's a leader, one or the other, right? I think for me, what will be the key indicators will be the fact that I see that those I have mentored, those I have imparted their lives are on the right path. Okay. I believe that everybody understands that good living is better than riches. I really like and enjoy extending a hand to somebody, whether morally, career path especially. Once I see a talent that has a capacity, whatever I can do to meet the person halfway, I do it anywhere I am. And so in my growing as a personality, what I've done is to make sure that I see talents, upgrade them, and secure them jobs wherever I find myself. But I think I also want to touch on the lifestyle a bit because most of us, like Temitope rightly mentioned, it is one of the things that mentorship has taught me personally ever since I started mentoring. And let me just mention, even today I received another request from SPI. Is the fact that you are very aware that whatever you are doing is being captured by those who are following your footsteps. So you are very cautious about what you say, about what you do, and what you don't do. All right. I always also want to use the lifestyle of a river. Okay. There is a part of a river life where it's very, very aggressive. It cuts every depth, it picks every debris, and it walks around. It gets to a stage where it relaxes in life, and then it becomes the river that we see. But the river you see lying down started from somewhere as a waterfall, as a meandering, as a V-shaped cut. And this is what I always want to leave with people, the young professionals, that we are at a stage, your stage, where you need to run. If you fail to run at this age between, let's say, 22 to 35, believe me, when you're 45 and you need to sit down, that's when you're going to be forced to run. Okay. So let's keep running. Let's stay hungry, and know that knowledge is power, and be flexible as we move on. So for me, these are the things that I look into. I mean, these are the kind of quality that I look into people. That makes me feel that the image I've created. Because today, when you talk about Riverson, I mean, who is Riverson? Everybody sees some level of energy. If you ask me how I have it, I don't know. I don't know how I have that energy, but I know I have it because I've been told many times, and I've heard it twice, and I believe it. So once I see the person with passion in the eyes, want to grow, I always want to be part of that person's life. And not only today, but I believe that in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, I want to see several Temitopers. I want to see several Beatrice. I want to see several Dr. George and Dr. Riverson across Africa and the continent. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Dr. Riverson. Yeah, it makes a whole lot of sense when we actually, when leaders actually are able to support young talents, people that they see that they can actually improve by actually investing in them in the ways that they actually would be able to, from personal mentorship and the rest of them. This is what we hope to achieve through this Emerging Leadership Alliance Conference. And we hope that from here, we'll be able to get people to be able to match up with their mentors as well. Yes, so we'll take the final round of questions from Mr. Temitope. So yes, as a person, I've seen that you have a lot of investments in personal growth. Looking at your role as a behavioral analysis consultant, which has given you a whole lot of insight as to recognizing strengths and potentials in individuals. So we'd like to know what strategies you actually recommend for leaders to be able to identify and nurture future leaders within their teams. Just as Dr. Riverson has stressed on, looking out for those qualities. He looks for a Riverson in a person, he builds upon that and makes the person a better version of themselves as well. So what traits and leadership qualities do you identify, do you look out for, and also recommend for leaders to actually have?
Thanks for the question. And really, over the course of my career, I think I can identify leaders with my eyes closed now. Just like with anything you do in life, you become better at identifying leaders when you've done it over and over. And of course, I can say I've done that over and over time. There's this quote by Warren Buffett that I use as my watchword when it comes to identifying leaders. So for me, in identifying and nurturing potential leaders in any team, which I believe others can also emulate, is that I look for 3 qualities: intelligence, energy, and integrity. And if you don't have the last one, don't even bother with the first 2. That's it for me. It's funny how I can identify the 2 almost immediately when I see people now. SPE is a gathering of intelligent people, so give it to people. People are generally intelligent in SPE. When it comes to energy, it's not everybody around you that has that intelligence. I remember the first day I met Riverson, he said something about energy. We both identified our energy, and tomorrow we still tell each other, bros, you get energy. From the first time we did that in Dubai, and that was over 10 years ago now, maybe running to 15 years. So you need to identify that energy signature. And for YPs, it's very funny that when I see those energy, I see them running haphazardly, not having a definite purpose. So I try to make sure that I help them shape it. Blessing, one of those that invited me for this session, for instance, I knew Blessing when he was still in, I think, second year. Blessing that was like probably 8 years ago for Blessing, and we are still together today. I identified the energy immediately. We have done a lot of things over time. So for me, that intelligence and that energy is key, but they are not as key as the last one I mentioned, which is integrity. And this is something that you cannot see immediately. So what I do is that I make sure that immediately I identify your energy and intelligence, I give you roles to test your integrity over time. So the quickly I'm able to know what your stand is and what your value is when it comes to integrity, the better rules and the better way I can mentor you and try to nurture you to become the best version of you. So I make sure that I give people roles immediately, test them with things that has to do with accountability, values, finances, and see how they react. If we don't agree on some things, that doesn't mean that I won't still lead you, but at least I will know what to do with you when it comes to higher positions or setting you up for further elevated position within the workplace. So in a nutshell, make sure that integrity is more important than this other two, because I've had experiences even here in SPE where I've seen integrity and where I've seen intelligence and energy, and I gave the person a lot of stuff to do without looking behind. Only for people to start calling me after a while that see what this person did. This person did. I'm like, oh, sorry, all of you. Oh, yeah, sorry. I didn't know. That was in my formative years when I first started out as leader. But now I make sure that integrity supersedes these other two qualities. Thanks.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Temitope, for sharing that. And we've seen intelligence, energy, and integrity. Yes, that sounds amazing. So just a quick tip for our young professionals here. You have to maximize these opportunities. Now, the names of our panelists are displayed boldly on the screen. So I want to believe that we are all on LinkedIn. So if I were you, I would just go and search them up, connect with them, and follow them and see the things that they do. That's a very good place to actually begin. So that's a tip. So meanwhile, we have some questions in the chat. If you have a question, kindly raise your hand. But in the meantime, I would be asking this question. And also, you can leave your nuggets, something you've learned from this session on the chat. We would love to see all of them. Okay, so this question is from Gloria. She says, thank you, Dr. George. As regards mentorship for young professionals, how do I approach someone I want to be like, but haven't met anywhere? Because in as much as you want to be mentored by this great person, you don't want to exceed their boundaries or come off too strong. Also, sometimes they want to help you, but because it might be virtual, there might be a decline in interest. Also, what kind of value can you add to this person's life or career for it to be fair? So this question is to you, Dr. George. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you. I like the question, and it's quite direct. And the answer is simple. First of all, you need to realize that it's not every person you want to be mentored that will agree to mentor you. So just like the previous speaker said, some people you meet them, I want you to be my mentor. They might decline. It doesn't mean that there's no other person that will not be able to mentor you. However, that is not a reason for you to go back, back in your shelves. It means that since you are passionate about what you want to mentor about, you find somebody else that will mentor you. And there are several ways to actually get person to mentor you. Like me, as you're saying, I mentor people far away in Malaysia. I haven't seen them up till now while they were in school. Some are graduate. I mentor people in the UK. I've mentored somebody in Grenada because of my profile they saw. No, because I'm very active on LinkedIn, so everybody comes to me on LinkedIn. I see a lot of requests on LinkedIn. Some I look at your profile and I accept, and then we draw out programs. Now, I'm not talking about those that I mentor here in Nigeria. And there are some that have declined because the reason why they want me to get them mentored is not well defined. So it's not as if it's a cast on stone that because you want somebody to be a mentor, the person must agree. But you have to be passionate to ensure that the way you approach the person matters. And if you can't see the person, like physically, like I said, look for the person other ways. Maybe you really want the person, find a way to get the person's number and text the person. Or go online, search the person. Maybe the person is on LinkedIn, send the person a message. I know a particular person from Ondo State, up till now I have not seen him, who texted me, who sent me a message on LinkedIn for about 4 to 5 times. He's been following me up for more than 3 years. And then last year I agreed to be his mentor. And then after he agreed, he was so happy. We did the thing for about 2 weeks. And then he organized a crowd of people who had, some young professionals that I had to speak to. Now, I did all this online. Up till now, I've not seen the guy. I just know him by name and his picture. I've not seen him. So mentorship is something that can be done highly virtually, and it's actually impactful. On the other aspect of you saying what value can you add to the person, I need you to understand that learning is vice versa. Younger persons also things that that type of R&D brings me onto my own knowledge. So it's the mentor. Maybe as adding value. It is you are not attentive and you are not following up the principle. So don't relent. One that you like, and don't forget that the person learns from you. I guess I answered your question.
Okay, thank you so much, Doctor. While there are no more questions on the chat in the meantime, I would love to ask this very question that has been bothering my mind for a while now. So this question is for me. I've read about mentorship and personality types that, okay, you should follow or have a mentor that have same personality as yours, because I think I was in one working space at a time, and this particular person I was looking up to was, you know, he had a certain kind of personality that didn't really agree with mine, so it was difficult to follow. So I don't know if you have something to say about it. This question is to Dr. Riverson. Please, could you in 1 minute provide an answer to that while we finalize the session? Thank you.
Yeah, so I understand it's still about mentorship, right?
Yes.
Esther, can you confirm? Yeah, so I totally agree with what Temitope said, what Doctor said regarding mentorship. I personally find it very weird when someone approaches me and asks me for the first time, I want you to be my mentor. I accept most of them, don't worry, but I believe in having a discussion, whether virtually or physically, understanding that you're on the same path, career path especially, and then align. And here's a case, yours is even very, 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 very practical, that you had a different mindset and the person had a different mindset. And that made it difficult for you to cooperate. And for those who are a bit religious, you understand that how can two work together unless they agree? I find it very difficult to mentor somebody who has a different mentality rather than mine. So unless you look at the strong, I mean, sorry, the positive side of the person mentoring you, I still have mentors in my life. All right, I have 2 career mentors, and they're not Ghanaians, they're not even Africans. And I have another career. So I have another mentor who's based in London, a Ghanaian in a way, who is for my life, my relationships, family aspects. Okay, so you can have more than one mentor. Each of them particularly looking at each aspect of your life. So I remember when I wanted to change job, I spoke to the one that is in charge of my entire career coaching, and he told me to take it. I didn't take it because he asked me to take it, but he understood that it was time for me to move from wherever I was to wherever I am. But I still have another career mentor in terms of petroleum engineering, right? Even though I've moved from engineering to commercial now, I still have that mentor. I keep in touch with him. Don't go to a mentor and a potential mentor and ask, say, or madam, how old are you? I received that question, not in Africa anyway. I think it was in it was in US by an European young man. The first question he asked me was how old I was. I was shocked. I don't know, probably in their culture it works, but in Africa I know it doesn't work, right? And one other person also reached out to me, and the first question she asked me was, "Are you married?" You know, and I don't know what mentorship you want that my me being married or not married affects it.
So let's not be so anxious about approaching people. My way of approaching my mentors are very key, because I look at that particular thing you do that I appreciate a lot, and I come and we talk about it. So by the time I leave you, you would want to be in touch with me. That's how I go about my stuff. So when I see people who bring a problem or a solution, I'm really ready to connect faster than those who just come and say, I want you to mentor me. Of late, I've turned so many people down. Forgive me if I've done so that to anybody here on this call, because of the current role I have taken, both at SPE as a regional director, and my current role as a CEO. So, for the first year in both roles at the same time, I've been turning a lot of mentees down, because anybody that I've mentored, and I've mentored people like Doc mentioned, I've mentored people across the globe, across the world, Indonesia, Australia, Europe. Mentioned it, even in Uganda, Tanzania. And I do my best that anytime I visit these countries, I meet them, and I have quarterly engagement with them. They take me through what their career path is, what their short-term, mid-term, and long-term plan is, and we evaluate it. I've mentored people for more than 5 years, and I still mentor them. And once in a while, I'll call you. What are you doing now? What have you changed in your life? So I don't just want to be called a mentor, and I don't have time for you. That is why probably I'll not be picking I'll not be picking mentors for some few months going. Thank you, Esther.
Hey, thank you
Thank
so
you so
much for
much,
that.
Sam.
Thank you so much. That was really very rich. So yes, so we've had a really amazing session. So before we wrap up, we want our speakers, our panelists to actually give us 30 seconds response or less, giving us a final takeaway or final piece of advice they would like to leave with the audience here. So we start with Madam Beatrice, a 30 seconds response, takeaway feedback to our attendees here.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much again for having me. It's been a very insightful session, even for me. And I'm glad I was able to share a few nuggets. I think the last thing I'll kind of leave you with is just in your journey as a leader, always look for ways to empower the people that you're leading. I think one great quote that I heard recently, and kind of stuck with me, is some people think that leadership is how people experience you as a leader, but in reality, leadership is actually how people experience themselves from being led by you. So whenever you're in a position, don't just seek self-furtherment, but also seek to further people, actually primarily seek to further people that are working with you, which is essentially what Dr. Riverson alluded to. So seek to develop them, seek to give them opportunities to grow, to showcase their own leadership as well, and also recognize them. So give them that recognition so that they can continue to display those good behaviors.
Okay, thank you so much. So Dr. Iwo, in 30 seconds or less. Okay, seems Dr. Iwo is having challenge there. So Dr. Rivers, in the meantime, 30 seconds or less, can you give us a final takeaway?
Yeah, thank you so much. When I lived when I lived in Europe, all my friends were Nigerians. Not because I'm a racist. I love the passion with which Nigerians do everything. No wonder I think I've been Lagos for last month 3 times in a row. I was there for SIPEC, for the SP Lagos Energy Week, and I came for the LPG Expo. I'm very excited always to talk to you guys, especially the young professionals. I see where you're going. You are going far. Don't be, I'll say, don't lose the hope. Don't lose hope. The energy industry is still going to be broad, just bringing a lot of opportunities for everybody. Keep learning, like Steve Jobs will always say. Keep staying hungry and foolish, and learn everything that you can learn. That will help you to grow. And I'm looking forward to visiting Wari. I think I have Wari booked down. I think third quarter of the year. So I'll still visit you guys soon. See you soon.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Dr. Iverson. Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you as well. Dr. Iwo, are you back with us? If you could give us 30 seconds takeaway. Okay, it looks like he's not, still having issues with audio. Mr. Temitope, would you like to give us a 30 seconds takeaway?
Okay, thanks. So, as you seek mentorship and you look for leaders to lead you right, one of the things that I need you to do for yourself as YPs, right, and even the professionals, is make sure you equip yourself. By equipping yourself, it's not just you learning and reading, but applying yourself, whatever you have. Make sure you have a skill area or something in particular that people know you for. And it could be more than one. But whatever you learn, make sure you apply it. Continue applying it till the time when people will mention your names in rooms when you are not present. Today in SPE, a lot of people don't even know my capability as an engineer, right? Or whatever other thing I do for my professional life. But the part of me that they know, if today you are looking for leadership training, you are looking for someone that has leadership qualities, you are looking for vision, you are looking to make sure that you make things happen, you are looking for building the younger generation, you are looking for people to connect you with other people in the industry, all those things, people will always call my name. It didn't happen in 1 year, it didn't happen in 5, it didn't even happen in 10 years. But once you start building yourself and you equip yourself and you apply it continuously, people will start mentioning your names when you are not there. And that is when your energy and your integrity and your intelligence start having shape and you start seeing a upward trajectory in your career and personal life and growth. So thank you for having me here today. I really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you so much. We're glad to have you on session as well. So I think that will be all for this section. Seems like our ARD is also still having issues with its audio. So we've really had a very fantastic session. Thanks to our incredible panelists for sharing their insights, their experiences. We also look forward to how we can, as young professionals, future leaders, take notes of these things and actually use them to improve on ourselves in our daily gettings. So thank you all for being part of this conversation. I would allow my co-host to actually close the session now, giving our last bits as well.
All right, thank you so much. It was a beautiful session with all our amazing panelists, and also thank you, my co-moderator, Jude. It was nice having the session with you. Okay, so for now, I'm going to hand over the session back to Sylvia and Paul. So could you please carry on with the session? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Esther. Thank you very much, Jude. That was such an insightful discussion. Thank you to our panelists for sharing their experience and valuable perspectives. Okay, so this brings us to our next segment, which is the leadership nuggets from our past YP shares. Paul, can you quickly share
All right,
screen?
thank you very much, Sylvia. But before we go into the nuggets, I would like us to have a photo with the panelists so that, because we don't know, some of them will be dropping off soon. So before we go to the main photography session. So please, everyone, turn on your videos. Let's see your beautiful and handsome faces again. For some, we're not on call when we took the first round. So hopefully everyone will be captured in this. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Beatrice. Thank you, Dr. Mintokwe. Thank you, Funaya. Take away. Enoch. Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you. Victory, I see you, thank you. All right, so let's take the first. SP.
Cleaner energy.
All right, the first one taken. So cleaner energy with your thumbs up now.
SPE.
Okay, all right, thank you, everyone. Yeah, so you can turn of the
All right, thank you very much, Paul. So we'll be going to our next segment, which is the leadership nuggets from past YP shares. So in this section, I will be sharing key thoughts and insights from our past young professional shares, reflecting on leadership and personal growth. Paul, next slide, please.
Please confirm you can hear my sound, Sylvia. I did a little bit of
Yes.
background as we. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Hope it's fine. Let's go.
Yes, please. Next slide, please.
All right. Okay. Let's do this.
Okay. So we have one of our past YP shares, Engineer Christopher Eguatu, YP share for 2013, 2014, and 2014, 2015. And he said, leadership means having a clear vision, inspiring others, and serving with integrity. Next slide, please.
And
also, we also have Engineer Augustina Ovrema, YP share 2016, 2017, and she shared, leadership means going by example, giving people opportunities for improvement, growth, and development, and also embracing their potential. So true leadership is all about creating opportunities and fostering an environment where others can thrive. Please. So we also have Mr. Shehu Abubakar, YP share for 2018, 2019 board year, and he emphasized leadership is about being strong but not rude, kind but not weak, bold but not a bully, and humble but not timid. So this highlights the balance required in leadership, strength with humility, and also confidence with kindness. There we also have Mr. Ellis Tega Aderojo. He was a YP share for 2019-2020 board year, and he also stated, leadership to me is living an exemplary life. Yes, indeed. A true leader leads by action, setting a standard for others to follow. Yes, and for the ball year 2021-2023, we had Mr. Dolapo Odeni, and he shared, leadership revolves around driving results through technical excellence, strategic execution, and collaborative problem solving. Okay, and we also have our recent past YP share for the ball year 2023-2024, Engineer Ogene Omuluwabi, and he said, leadership is not just about directing tasks, but about fostering a shared sense of purpose. When people feel valued and inspired, they become more engaged and committed to excellence. Yes, so our current YP share for the body year 2024-2025, Engineer Ebifaga Bebe Mibo, he reminds us that in leadership, you are only as strong as you are honest. So that means integrity is the foundation of effective leadership, ensuring trust and respect. So this was a wisdom from our past leaders, continue to guide and inspire us, and may we all strive to embody these leadership principles in our journeys. So now let us test our knowledge with a fun Slido quiz. So Paul will take us through the segment. Paul, over to you.
All right, thank you. confirm you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Thank you very much, Sylvia, and thanks for those nuggets. It's really great to see our past leaders share some of their experiences and even in a few words on how to go about our leadership activities, as we are all leaders. And I also want to say, drop my own bit of thank you to the panelists too. It was really, really insightful. Thank you very much, everyone. So before we go into the Slido quiz, please, for all the students that are on call, please make sure you rename you rename on Zoom as with your chapter, so that we can get who the chapter with the most represented number of students. Thank you very much, everyone. So for the Slido quiz, I'll stop sharing. Then I'm going to share an invite to the group. So just give me some time to get that done. So while we're waiting for me to do that, please, students, rename as your student chapter. Thank you. All right. Let's okay. All right. All right. Please will come up soon. That's an interaction. Right. All right. An invite has been sent to the group chat, so just check, just click join. Please confirm you can see the invite. Syria, please confirm the invite has been sent. Hello?
Yes, I can see the invite in chat box.
Okay, so please just join in. No one has joined in yet. Just click and join. Let me see us join. Okay, everyone. No participants has joined yet. So please, let's join.
I've not seen it now.
Okay, I've not seen the invite. Okay,
Yes.
let me share again. Okay, let me share again. Okay. You should be seeing the invite now.
Not yet.
Okay, it should have come now. Please confirm you've seen it. Can we see the invite now? Okay, not yet.
No.
Oh. Okay, let me try and do this again. Well, you should have seen it. Okay. All right. Okay. From here, it's showing me waiting for participants to join. So let me just refresh this and get back to us. Those tools. Okay. All right. So let's try this again. Okay. Okay. Can we see the invites now?
No, Paul, I can't see the invite. Can you not share like a link?
Oh, okay. Let me just do that instead. But you saw it the first time, yeah?
No, I didn't.
Okay. I thought Sylvia confirmed that she saw it the first time. That's why I didn't want to go through. But let's just go to. Let me share a link instead. It would have been better to get it integrated, but that's fine. So let's just wait a bit. But meanwhile, let's ensure we've for the students they've renamed as students so that we can get to know the most represented student chapter. All right. Again, sharing the link in a bit. Apologies for the delay. I wonder why the invite wasn't shared again. Probably from my end. Okay, while we wait for the quiz, while we wait for me to set that up, can our team lead come up with the closing remarks so that once we are done with the quiz, we'll just take our final picture and move from there so as not to waste time. Engineer Peter, can you come up with your closing remarks now? Is he on call? Please confirm he's on call.
Yeah, I'm here, Paul. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. So please, can you just give us your closing remarks now while we try to set up the quiz again?
Okay. So can we take the announcements instead? We have some announcements, I guess, right?
Okay. All right. Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
All right, Sylvia, can you just help?
Yes.
Okay,
Can
let
you
me
share your screen, please?
All right, I will do so now. Coming. Video. Share screen. Yep. Okay. My screen is up. Please confirm you can see it.
Not yet.
Okay.
Okay, yes, I can see it now.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. So I am pleased to bring to you two exciting announcements from SPE Section 104 Warri. And so please, guys, mark your calendars for Saturday, May 3rd, 2025, as we gather for the 2025 Annual Technical Symposium and Exhibition. The theme for this year's event is Sustainable Oil and Gas Development, Policies, Technologies, and Strategic Partnerships. This will be a remarkable opportunity to explore the latest advancements, engage with industry leaders, and discuss policies shaping the future of oil and gas. And the venue will be at NGIC Conference Hall, the Canteen Building at number 1 Odin Road, Ekpan Warri. So stay tuned for more details, and we encourage everyone to anticipate this impactful event. Next, I would like to introduce the School No Be Scam series, a very thought-provoking initiative designed to unlock knowledge and opportunities for students and young professionals. In this series, we will explore how education can transform lives and careers, providing real insights into making the most of academic professional experiences. So this is coming soon, so also be on the lookout for more updates. And for more details, kindly follow our social media platform, SPE Warri Section 104. We are on Instagram, Twitter, as well as TikTok. So we look forward to your participation in this upcoming events. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Sylvia. I think I just sent the link to the group. We can join via that link so that we'll not waste time here. Yeah. Please confirm you can see the link and you can join.
Yes, I think the link it's on the platform now.
Okay, all right. Apologies for the delay. Sometimes technology. All right, let me see us joining. Waiting for participants to join, okay? Okay. Are we having troubles joining? Okay, I can see Joseph, Isaac, Meg, Zenda, I almost said Zendaya. Jivan, Samuel, Queen, Tekewe, Buhari, Bakuji. Okay, let's have more people join. Okay, I can see V. All right, let me try. Trying to share the screen so you all can see what I'm seeing. Okay, V. All right, Joseph. All right, I think we'll just start with the number of persons we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We have 13 participants here. Can we make it 15? Can we make that 15? All right, I did come your money. One more person. Let's make it 15. All right, we'll start. Okay, so to the first question. So you're going to be seeing the question as you've joined. You'll see the question. Having troubles even presenting the question. Okay, it's here. Okay, it's here. Please confirm you can see my screen. Confirm you can see the Slido screen. Yeah, let me share that. Can you see that? You can see the number of persons that have joined?
Yes, yes.
Okay, perfect. So we'll start with the quiz. Okay, all right. Let's do this. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. The first question is coming up now. All right. So you have 15 seconds to answer the question. All right. What's the name of the largest oil producing country in the world? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. We have our answer. Okay. What's the answer? It's Saudi Arabia. Yeah. How many people got it? Okay. Jivan, Joseph, Neka got the answer. All right. Next question. The following constitute the current energy trilemma. So what's the answer?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay, Joseph got the answer. Okay. No one got that. Okay, I think there was a mix-up in that question. The answers were not spelled in the question. I apologize for that. So go to the next question. All right. What is the term for the decrease in the value of an asset over time? This talks about economics. Okay, what's the answer? The answer is depreciation, and quite a number of persons got it. Joseph, Adekomi got it. All right. Next question. So Joseph is still topping the leaderboard. What's the name of the largest desert in the world? Is it Sahara? Is it Gobi? Is it Mojave? Is it the Antarctic? Largest desert in the world.
Come on now.
Largest.
Sahara, Sub-Saharan.
Please, let's mute our mics. Please, Sylvia, can you help me make sure everyone is muted so that we won't disrupt the quiz session?
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, all right. So what's the answer? The answer is the Antarctic, actually. So I'm sure many people chose Sahara because when you hear desert, you're looking at more or less like a landmass where there's no vegetation and or where there's sand and it's hot, all that. So basically, the idea of the desert is where there's no vegetation, and the Antarctic is a whole continent almost covered in ice. So it's also classified as a desert. So the Antarctic is the largest desert in the world. So how many people got it? Okay, Joseph got it. Okay, only Joseph got the answer. Oh, all right, that's good. Next question. During the NICE 2024, which Esprit Nigeria section won the award of the best YP section? Which section won the best YP section? Let's look at it carefully. Best YP section. Emphasis on YP. Okay, what's the answer? The answer is the Benin section. It was Benin section that won the best YP session. The Warri session won the most improved YP section. So let's take note of that. So the Benin session won the best YP session. All right, that was a trick question there, I guess. So, all right, next. Joseph is still topping the leaderboard. What's the term for the amount of greenhouse gas emissions produced per unit of energy consumed? Energy efficiency, carbon intensity, greenhouse gas footprint, emission factor. All right. Okay. This is quite a tricky question, and I'm seeing people falling for the tricks. Okay, what's the answer? Yes, the answer is carbon intensity. So the carbon intensity is the measure of greenhouse gas emissions produced per unit of energy consumed. Is most industries use this to be able to know how much emissions, carbon emissions they are taking into the atmosphere. I know basically greenhouse gas emissions, majority of them consist of carbon emissions. So I know the greenhouse gas footprint would have been a trick, and many fell for it. Sorry about that. All right, next question. Where will the ATCE 2025 take place? That's the Annual Technical Conference and Exhibition for the SP International. Where will it take place? Where will it take place? All right. The Austin, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Houston, Texas, Denton, Texas. All right. So what's the answer? So the answer is Houston, Texas. For those that have not been up to date, it was currently changed to Houston. She was supposed to be in Dallas at some point, but there are some issues, I think, with the venue or so. So if you read on the platform, you'll see that. So what the correct answer is Houston, Texas. So who got it? Okay. All right. According to Dr. Miss Kimmins, a tagline speaks not just to a brand recognition, but also to what? According to her, did the company's aim and objective, purpose and intent, vision and mission, or goals and values? What's the answer? Okay, the answer is vision and mission. Okay. Okay. What's the next question? I think I'm having, okay, vision and mission. Yes, that's the answer. Next question. According to John Maxwell, the 5 levels of leadership include the following, except position, promotion, permission, production. Pastor Roman Daniels mentioned so while he was speaking. So 5 levels include the following, except what? So which was not included? Except. Oh, okay. And the answer is promotion. Position is included. I think that's the first level. Second level is permission, then production. There are actually 5 of them. We still have people development and pinnacle, but promotion is not part of them. All right. So Joseph is still topping the leaderboard with Jivan and Samuel following closely behind. So let's see if Joseph can hold the fort till the end. Okay, next question. According to Remy Daniels, a transformational leader needs a title or office to make an impact. True or false? He needs a title or office to make an impact. True or false? All right. Well, the answer, Slido says it's false. Yes, you don't need a title or an office to make impact. You don't need a title or an office to make an impact. And with this, we see Joseph leading the pack, yes, with 7 points. Jivan taking second with 5 points, but with a faster time, and Samuel taking the third with 5 points with 1 minute 27 seconds. Yes. Thank you very much. So Joseph, Jivan, and Samuel, kindly reach out to us so that we can get your gift. So Sylvia, could you just drop your contact so that they can reach out to you for their prizes? Thank you very much, everyone. Sylvia, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm currently doing that now.
All right, so I'll go back to the slide deck so we can continue. Yes, thank you very much, everyone. All right, so take the closing remark before we take our final photography session. Engineer Nelson, sorry, we used to call him Nelson. Engineer repeater, you have the floor.
All right, thank you very much. Please confirm you can hear me.
Loud and clear, and we can see you also.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so thank you. So first of all, keynote speaker, Dr. Jennifer. It's really great to really have everyone who has participated in this program here. I'm grateful to the wonderful team. Honestly, I'm so happy to see how far we have been able to come in this program. I remember when we started planning, we had a lot of challenges, but today is a success. So we thank every of the speaker from the keynote address speaker to the keynote lecturer, Roma Daniels, to all our panelists, to Riverton Opong, Dr. George Iwo, Satum Tope, and Beatrice. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You really made this session a wonderful one. It's worthy of note that this is the first Emerging Leaders Alliance conference that we're having in SPE Warri, and that in these notes is really recommended. It's really commendable, and we appreciate everyone that made it a success. I would like to especially thank the section chair of this great Warri section for taking time to be here with us, for encouraging us. I also want to appreciate all the section board members and all the board directors that were with us. Every one of you, you made this program special. Thank you so much. I may not need to mention the names of everyone here right now, especially for those that have left the meeting, but really appreciate you all. I also want to thank our YP chair for being there for us and all through the planning. Thank you for always listening to ideas, and refining them. Thank you. So all the team members, to every one of you, you guys made today a great success. Thank you to the moderators. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Sylvia. You guys were really excellent. Thank you to the panel moderators also. Thank you, Jude. Thank you, Esther. Thank you so much for holding the fort very well and for giving us an engaging session. Thank you, everyone. And to all the participants, we really appreciate you. I hope we've learned so much, but for me, I've learned a lot from this program, and not just learning. So beyond learning, we need to apply this in our lives. Yeah, we are the emerging leaders, and we know that through us, tomorrow is built already. So with everything that we've learned from this program, I believe that we will empower tomorrow. Yes, we have been equipped to build. Know that you are not just equipped for yourself, you have been equipped to equip others. So that's who a leader is, and I'm really grateful that we had a wonderful session today. So once more, I will say a big thank you to everyone for being a part of this program. Thank you, and God bless.
All right, thank you very much, team lead. Thank you very much. An honor working with you also. So, but before we go, let's take our final photo. Now, I believe your expectations have been met, your knowledge has increased, you've gotten all the nuggets and insights. I'm listening to both status, putting punchlines, okay, according to this, according to that. Okay, that's good. But like my team lead said, it's not just about getting all this information. How are you applying them to make the world a better place and to impact your various community? So finally, let's have our photograph session. Okay, my video, my camera is on. Please let's turn on ours too. Okay, Isaac's camera is on. I can see Isaac. I can see Esther, our amiable panel host. Okay, and Jude too. Okay, thank you. Wow, I can see Dr. Sarah. Shout out to Dr. Sarah, guys. We couldn't recognize. Ma, can you just say
We
hello
love
to
you. We love you, ma.
Thank you,
We
ma.
love you.
Thank
Thank you,
you
ma,
for
for joining us.
joining. Dr. Sarah always tries to join.
You guys are doing well. You're
Thank
doing
you, man.
Thank you, ma. Thank you. Mm.
All right. Okay. Let me take the first one. All right. SPE.
Cleaner energy.
Okay. We have the first. Then cleaner energy.
SPE.
SPE.
All right. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Yeah, Paul, please, can we announce this stuff before we go? I dropped something on the chat. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me confirm.
Just before everyone will close the meeting. Okay.
Okay. Okay, all right. So the most represented chapter on core, okay, from my poll here, I have, okay, because this is cumulative from the beginning till the end at different points, and different people left at different points. But PTI won this. Yes,
Okay.
PTI for those,
Good.
yes, PTI won this. Then
All right.
followed by Novena and NMU. Yes, well, PTI actually won this. Thank you very much,
right.
everyone. Everyone, thank you.
Well done. Congrats, PTI. Well done. Oh, yeah, the president can reach out to us.
All right.
Thank you. Well done, team. Great one. Great
Yeah.
planning. Yeah.
Congratulations,
Congratulations,
PTI. Yeah.
All right. You can keep enjoying my music. I'm okay to be your DJ for now. So you leave the call.
Thank you. Yeah, Paul, I think it's connected to YouTube. Maybe in a minute you can end for her. Well done.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me not shut the door on you guys. Let me wait for you guys to leave. All right. Okay. All right.
I think we need to beg people to leave.
All right. At this point, we say goodbye, everyone. I'll be ending the call now. By being your moderator and your DJ.